Chapter 5191. Between heaven and earth, the 6 apex weapons faced each other, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. When Morong Chingcheng and the others heard the arrogant words of the Gu family and Z Mansion, their eyes were filled with killing intent. Countless people were watching this battle, and they were terrified to the extreme. As for the remote antiquity families and great sects, they were also facing a great enemy. The expressions of the monarch families changed. They would not allow this battle to happen, because once they fought, everything would be destroyed. Even if they could stay out of it, their families would not be able to survive if the buried Emperor Star was destroyed. Therefore, the experts of the other monarch families came. Everyone, stop! The Yi family's patriarch flew out and said, "Everyone, stop! Is the Yi family going to interfere?" The monkey roared. The Yi family's patriarch sighed. Yi Wudao also came. He looked at Morong Chingcheng and transmitted his voice. "I know you're angry, but we can't start a war with them now. The 3 families have a strong foundation. Once they fully recover, your lives will be in danger. Chingcheng, stop." The Phoenix clan's patriarch also walked over. The Kunpeng clan's experts had come. Everything could be discussed. The other top remote antiquity families, such as the Canopy clan and the 3 great orthodoxies, also appeared. For a moment, everyone was trying to dissuade them. Morong Chingcheng and the others had solemn expressions. To be honest, they also knew that with their current strength, it would be difficult for them to fully recover their apex weapons. If they really fought, they would not have a good ending. However, they were extremely angry. It seemed that this matter would have to be discussed at length. Morong Chingcheng said coldly, "The 10,000 Dragon Court would not let this matter end. One day, you will pay the price." Hearing Morong Chingcheng's words, the others also heaved a sigh of relief. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. "Not only the 10,000 Dragon Court, but also your allies. Just you wait, we won't let any of you go." In the end, they did not attack and returned with the 3 monarch weapons. The other families also heaved a sigh of relief. The people of the buried Emperor Star were also relieved. However, they knew that Lin Xian might have really died. Otherwise, why would Morong Chingcheng and the others attack the 10,000 Dragon Court crazily? The fall of a martial monarch's son had left everyone in shock. Many experts shook their heads and sighed. What a pity! This was someone who had the potential to become a great emperor. Morong Chingcheng and the others returned. They had not given up on revenge. Instead, they had gathered their strength. They were too weak, so they had to gather enough resources. When the time came, it would be a fully awakened monarch weapon. It was a peerless strike. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was also frantically collecting resources. They would not let Morong Chingcheng and the others go. Both sides had calmed down. However, the entire buried Emperor Star was filled with undercurrents. The atmosphere was extremely tense. There were also those who believed that Lin Xian was still alive. After all, he had too many trump cards. However, a year had passed, and the other party had not appeared again. There was no news of him at all. The sun had completely turned into a black hole, and no one had ever walked out of it. This made everyone realize that this genius might really have fallen. The Purple Mansion sect, the Golden Crow clan, the Blue clan, and the Dragon Sea clan. Naturally, he was happy. Now that one of their enemies had fallen, they all started to celebrate. On the other hand, the people from the Divine Union were completely devastated. They knew that what awaited them would be an earth-shattering storm. In the Sacred Source Tower, Divine General Hai Yuan, Divine General Yun, and the others frowned. Lin Wudi had fallen. How was this possible? They could not believe it. In a mysterious place in the buried Emperor Star, a black-robed man stood with his hands behind his back, looking up at the sky. He was Heishan. He muttered to himself, "Kid, have you really fallen?" The sun had turned into a black hole. Countless broken palaces floated inside. There was also a pill furnace that had completely changed shape. There was a sword world inside the pill furnace. In the sword world, the hellfire dragon and the 4 spiritual beasts were stunned. They waited patiently. Previously, the 10,000 dragon diagram had fully awakened twice, and Lin Xian had been torn apart and turned into a bloody mist. They thought that Lin Xian was dead for sure. However, at this moment, the void broke open and a pill charged in. This shocked them. They thought that the 10,000 dragon dynasty had come, but they realized that was not the case. Instead, it was a pill that surrounded the Grand Tao. What a terrifying aura. This should have been refined by an emperor. The hellfire dragon was shocked. I know. This should be a pill from the pill furnace. He returned to the pill furnace. He did not expect to enter the sword world by chance. Ha! Kid, you are not destined to die. The hellfire dragon waved his claw. He threw the pill into Lin Xian's bloody mist. The pill shone brightly, and Lin Xian's broken body slowly healed. He fell into a deep sleep. A year passed, and he still did not wake up. Another year passed, and Lin Xian opened his eyes. I'm not dead. He looked around in shock. He remembered that back then, the extreme Tao aura had already torn his body apart. Kid, you're awake? That's great. The hellfire dragon laughed. The 4 spiritual beasts roared. Alive. You're really alive. Lin Xian's face was pale. He felt that all the energy in his body was gone. He was very weak. What was going on? Was it the spring of life? He looked down at the mouth of the spring. The hellfire dragon, on the other hand, told him everything that happened before. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. He remembered that there was a pill in the pill furnace. Didn't the other party break through the void and leave? He actually came back. Furthermore, he had obtained it. It was an unexpected joy. After surviving a disaster, there would be good fortune. Lin Xian sat cross-legged and activated the emperor's ancient scripture. He began to absorb the power of the pill. The pill entered his body, and a part of the power had already dissolved. It made it come back to life. But there was still a part of the power left. Lin Xian was slowly absorbing it. At the same time, the powerful aura of the spring of life and the spiritual herbs in the 4 spirit valley. It made Lin Xian's power return quickly. In a month, he reached the peak. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp light. 10,000 Dragons Dynasty. I won't let you go. He wanted revenge. But before that, he still had to break the curse on his body. Lin Xian took out the purple flame from the cauldron. A wisp of purple flame was terrifying. It was even more terrifying than all the power of his 9 young divine body. Lin Xian knew that this should be the purple sun divine fire. This flame could break the dragon prince's curse. In the next moment, he walked into the purple sun divine fire. His body split open again. The pain almost made him faint, but he gritted his teeth and persevered. In the blink of an eye, another year had passed. In this year, Lin Xian had been tempered by the purple sun divine fire. The dragon prince's curse had disappeared without a trace. He could no longer be detected by the 10,000 Dragons Dynasty. But he didn't come out. Lin Xian decided to absorb this purple flame. He wanted to improve his 9 young divine body. Chapter 5192. After a year of tempering, Lin Xian was already able to withstand the power of the purple sun god fire. Next, it was time to fully absorb it. The 9 suns on the 9 young divine body kept flashing. Lin Xian's current physique, it was equivalent to a late-stage great saint. However, there was still a gap between him and a peak saint lord like the golden fire saint. But if he absorbed this purple sun god fire, then even if he met someone like the 9 nether demon lord, he would have nothing to fear. His physique would become much stronger than these people. 2 years later, Lin Xian completely absorbed the flame. The 6 suns on his body were incomparably resplendent, as if they were real suns. The other 3 were phantoms. In other words, Lin Xian was not far from the final stage of God body. With the strength of his physique and the increase in power of the 9 yang divine body, Lin Xian's combat strength had also become stronger than before. He felt that it was time to leave. His body flashed, and Lin Xian left the sword world. After coming out, he discovered that his surroundings were pitch black. It was a universe black hole. Around him were broken walls, and in front of him was a pill furnace that had been beaten out of shape. Lin Xian was shocked. The materials of this pill furnace were too extraordinary. After being attacked by an extreme Dao weapon, it actually didn't break apart and only changed shape. He waved his hand and kept the pill furnace. He wanted to see if there was a chance to restore it in the future. Then he left. After leaving the black hole, Lin Xian came out and discovered that there was no one around in the vast universe. Actually, this was very normal. He originally thought that the 10,000 Dragon Court would be guarding here, but now it seemed that they didn't do so. Actually, the 10,000 Dragon Court had already determined that Lin Xian had died. Not only them, but the entire buried Emperor's Star probably thought so too. I wonder how Qingcheng, Rizalong, and the others are doing? Lin Xian was worried. After all, if the news of his death spread out, those people would definitely take revenge. Perhaps they had already started fighting with the 10,000 Dragon Court. He was extremely worried, so he increased his speed. There was a pair of demonic wings on his back that flapped. He turned into a stream of light and disappeared. In the starry sky of the universe, several figures stopped. One of them looked into the distance in shock. "Grandpa, I think I saw someone fly out from the sun." It was a young man with light flickering on his body. The old man in front looked into the distance, his eyes radiating a terrifying light. He looked carefully for a while and said, "You must have seen wrongly. How could anyone come out alive from the sun? That place had become a forbidden land of death, and no one could walk out of it." A middle-aged woman at the side said, "That's right, maybe someone was passing by. Besides, you're just a kid. What can you see? Come on, let's go back. This time, this sun has been shattered, so we have to find a new one." Now that he had investigated it thoroughly, the next step was to transport the sun over. However, with just our strength, it is simply impossible to accomplish. It is better to ask those emperor clans to take action. After Lin Xian returned to the buried Emperor's Star, he first inquired about the situation. It turned out that back then, the Murong Qingcheng had fought against the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. However, they hadn't stopped. Presumably, they had been accumulating strength. After the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty attacked back then, they had calmed down. On the buried Emperor's Star, everyone thought that Lin Xian had died. After Lin Xian heard that, he snorted coldly. When the time came, he would give these people a surprise. However, he didn't show himself immediately. Instead, he prepared to go to another world. This was because he had heard news about the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord. Lin Xian wouldn't forget this person. It was this person who had spread the news about him, which was why they had sent an extreme weapon to kill him. Lin Xian wanted to get rid of this person first. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord wasn't on the buried Emperor's Star. Instead, he had gone to another world to conquer. After all, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had used extreme weapons many times and didn't have many resources left. He had to subdue other worlds to increase the power he had. As a Saint Lord expert, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord naturally went out to sweep through everything. After receiving the news, Lin Xian moved once again. He turned into a bolt of black lightning and left. In the vast universe, there were countless stars. Among them, there was a world that was filled with flames. It wasn't a sun, but another world. It was called the Flame Star. The power of the flames in this world was extremely terrifying. At this moment, many dragon race experts had arrived. They swept through everything. The saints on the flame star couldn't resist at all. Soon, they submitted. These dragon race experts started to collect spirit veins and minds for the people on the flame star to dig out flame god crystals. This was a powerful energy. The scarlet flame dragon Lord sat in a large hall in the star world. Looking at the news of a fish in his hand, he nodded his head in satisfaction. After collecting the energy of this world, he would collect the energy of the other two worlds. Then he would be able to return and report. It could be considered as completing a mission. This time, he had to have a good rest. What he didn't know was that outside the flame star, a figure had already descended. It was a figure that looked like a demonic god. Lin Xian looked at the star world below and narrowed his eyes. Golden light flashed in his eyes. They were like the eyes of a god. He sensed the aura of the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord. The other party was on this star world. At the same time, he also sensed the aura of many dragon race experts. Other than the 10,000 Dragons Court, there were also other dragon race experts. It seemed that after this battle, all the dragon race experts except the dragon race of the Black Sea had submitted to the 10,000 Dragons Court. Very good. From here on out, let the 10,000 Dragons Court feel the pain. Lin Xian landed on the ground. The flame aura below was very terrifying. However, under Lin Xian's feet, the flames quickly rose and fell as if they were worshipping their king. Lin Xian had the 9 yang divine body. In addition, he had absorbed the divine fire. His flame power was extremely powerful. Therefore, he was walking on flat ground here. In the distance, in the continuous mountain range, endless flaming mountains were erupting. There were many figures moving there. These people were collecting flame god crystals. Among them, there was a woman with a pale face. She was wearing chains and was also collecting flame god crystals. The experts of the dragon clan beside him acted as guards. Move faster. The dragon race guards snorted coldly. They waved the weapons in their hands and hit the chain bearers in front of them. Those people, most of them were warriors on the flame star. Now that they had submitted, they naturally became such coolies. You dare to attack me? The pale-faced woman in front of them was hit by a palm strike. She immediately turned around and shouted coldly. The dragon race guards were stunned for a moment before they laughed out loud. Oh, I'm so scared. Princess of the fire dragon race. Why? Are you here to kill me? Chapter 51:93. Humph, do it. Those guards snorted coldly. Another person said, Enough, do you still think you're high and mighty? You're now a prisoner. As the princess of the fire dragon race, you actually dared to submit to that Lin Wudi. It's already good enough that we didn't kill you. Hurry up and serve the 1,000 Dragons dynasty. As he said that, he slapped Fire Dragon Princess's face again. Fire Dragon Princess was knocked to the ground, and blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. She was unwilling to accept this and wanted to fight back. However, the sealing chains on her body sealed her power. Damn it! If Lin Xian was still alive, would you dare to be so arrogant? Fire Dragon Princess roared. Those dragon race guards snorted coldly. Alive? Stop dreaming. He's already dead. He died a few years ago. No one can save you. You'll be slaves forever. These people laughed out loud. You'd better be obedient. Otherwise, you'll suffer a fate worse than death. Killing intent appeared in the eyes of the dragon race guards. The surrounding warriors on the flame planet felt their scalps go numb. They didn't dare to resist. However, Fire Dragon Princess shed tears of unwillingness. Lin Xian, are you really dead? She couldn't accept it. Hurry up and do your work. The dragon race guard slapped again, and Fire Dragon Princess was sent flying. Try touching her again. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. The dragon race guards were even more furious. Who dares to challenge me at this time? Do you want to die? They turned their heads one after another. In the next moment, they saw a man standing behind them. That man had a handsome face, but his expression was incomparably cold. The endless flames in the surroundings submitted to him. Heavens! Is this the fire god? The warriors on the flame planet were shocked when they saw this scene. However, Fire Dragon Princess exclaimed, "It's you." At this moment, she felt like she was dreaming. "Who are you?" One of the dragon race guards roared. "Are you here to save Ling'er? Go to hell." He struck out with his palm. However, this slap landed on Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian was unharmed. The other party was forced back and half of his arm was broken. Then his entire body was taken care of. The power of the vibration turned him into a bloody mist. What a powerful physique. The surrounding people were shocked when they saw this. The faces of those from the dragon clan changed, and they attacked together. Following the roar of one of the guard leaders, more than a dozen dragon clan experts rushed over. Ants, unable to withstand a single blow. Lin Xian stretched out a finger, and a terrifying flame flickered on it. He gently pointed forward. The sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. The entire void was completely shattered. More than a dozen dragon race experts were sent flying while coughing out blood. Their bodies were shattered into pieces. It let out a miserable cry. However, they didn't die because Lin Xian didn't want to kill them. With a single finger, Yi Fuqian suppressed over a dozen experts from the dragon clan, causing the surrounding people to go crazy. Was this really the descent of a god? Lin Xian walked forward and looked at Fire Dragon Lady. He said, "You have suffered." Fire Dragon Girl trembled in excitement. "Is it really you?" "Lin Xian, you're still alive?" The people of the dragon clan who were being suppressed felt their scalps go numb after hearing this. What? Lin Xian. He was Lin Wuti. How was this possible? Wasn't he already dead? These people had all gone crazy. The cultivators on the blazing star were shocked. They felt that this name was very familiar. However, they weren't from the buried Emperor Star. They only felt that the man in front of them was like a god. They didn't know anything else. Lin Xian waved his hand and broke the chains on Fire Dragon Lady. Then he took out a pill and gave it to her. "You've suffered," Lin Xian said as he used his life force to quickly heal the other party's wounds. Soon, Fire Dragon Lady recovered. She shook her head. "I'm too happy. I'm not dreaming, right? Are you really alive?" Lin Xian nodded. "Of course, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty can't kill me. Moreover, I'm here to take revenge." After saying this, his eyes exploded with extremely cold, killing intent. Around him, the people on the blazing star all knelt down. "God, please save us." Lin Xian waved his hand, and endless sword chi broke the chains on these people. He said, "I can let you regain your freedom. However, you can't go out yet. Hide. Soon, I'll send your enemies to hell. At that time, you'll be free." "Thank you, benefactor." These people were extremely grateful. They all hid. Fire Dragon Lady looked at the people around her and said, "What do you plan to do?" Lin Xian said, "I'll seal them. You can do whatever you want with them." "Okay." Fire Dragon Lady nodded. "Thank you." She walked over with killing intent in her eyes. During this period of time, the dragons around her would torture her. Today, she wanted 100 times more, 1,000 times more. Those dragon guards were all crying. "Fire Dragon Princess, please spare me. We didn't do it on purpose. We were just following orders. I beg you to spare my life." Begging for mercy was useless. Soon, they all let out miserable cries. Under Fire Dragon Lady's methods, these people were hovering between life and death. In the end, they all died in endless despair. "Great." Fire Dragon Lady snorted coldly. She had taken revenge for all these years. She turned around and said, "Are you really going to attack all the dragons here?" Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. Is there anyone from your fire dragon race here?" "I can save them." Fire dragon lady shook her head. "Our fire dragon race has been suppressed, and many of our people have died. The other people are suppressed on the buried Emperor Star. As for me, I was captured by them. No, don't worry. When we return, I'll let your fire dragon race regain its glory. Now, follow me to kill the Scarlet Flame Dragon God." Fire Dragon Lady was more familiar with this place. Thus, she led the way. At the same time, on the other side, the dragon race also received some news. They naturally knew that more than 10 dragon guards had died. The experts of the Dragon Pearl clan furrowed their brows as they watched the dozens of light spots on the formation disappear. They gathered together. "What's going on? Who dares to attack our dragon race here? Could it be that there are experts hiding on this flame star? That's impossible. The strongest expert of this star world was killed by our Scarlet Flame Dragon God with one palm. Who else would dare to resist? Is it someone from another world?" After all, the universe was vast. Even if experts from other worlds came, they might not be able to do so. However, some people frowned. "Who dares to challenge our 10,000 dragon dynasty?" Someone said, "Not necessarily. For example, the Divine Union and the Black Seas dragon race." The moment these words were said, some people frowned. They thought of Murong Qingsheng, the Crimson Dragon, and the others. If these people attacked, that would be troublesome. Someone snorted coldly. They were afraid that they wouldn't dare to come. If they came, they would directly kill them. "Should we tell the Scarlet Flame Dragon God about this?" someone asked. An elder shook his head. "Let's not disturb his cultivation for such a small matter. We can deal with it." Lin Xian didn't just want to take revenge on the Scarlet Flame Dragon God. He wanted to take revenge on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty and its allies. All of them were terrified. Thus, wherever he went, the dragon race's martial artists would all die. In each spirit vein, there weren't many dragon guards, only a dozen or so. However, this was still a shocking number of them. After the dragon race's elders received the news, their expressions turned increasingly ugly. "Damn it, quickly search." However, every time they reached a place, they realized that they were one step too late. Chapter 5194. The other party's attack was shocking, killing with one strike. "Damn it, is he challenging us?" Extremely terrifying killing intent erupted from the eyes of these Dragon Clan powerhouses. A Dragon Clan powerhouse said, "Look at the route they took. They went to every spirit vein along the way. It seemed that they planned to save the people on the fiery star one by one. This way, it would be easy. We can set up a trap at the previous spirit vein in advance. When he comes, we will catch all the enemies in one fell swoop." In the eyes of the Dragon Clan, the other party was not one person, but a group of people. That was why they could be so fast. The Dragon Clan elder said, "So what if it was a group of people? Gather our elite forces. This time, I will let him know what regret is." The Dragon Clan powerhouses headed towards the spiritual Fire Mountain range. This was a very exaggerated spirit vein, a top-grade spirit vein. The Dragon Clan had many guards to begin with, so the other party would definitely come here. After the Dragon Clan powerhouses arrived, they set up a formation and hid. They wanted to wait for the rabbit to appear. Lin Xian was indeed heading towards the spiritual Fire Mountain range. He was indeed prepared to kill his way here. He would not let go of any Dragon Clan member. He came to a mountain peak and looked at the mountain range in the distance. He narrowed his eyes. Fire Dragon Girl said that if we do this, the 10,000 Dragon Court will definitely receive the news. Maybe they have already set up a trap and are waiting for us. Are we really going to continue like this? Why don't we change places and catch them off guard? A trap? Lin Xian felt that there was indeed a hidden aura in front of him. He smiled. No need. He would go to the mountain range in front of him. Fire Dragon Girl was stunned, but there was danger ahead. Lin Xian smiled. In the face of absolute strength, all schemes were broken. I will let them die in the most despair. Let's go. Lin Xian flew forward. Fire Dragon Girl took a deep breath. Absolute strength. The other party was indeed qualified to say such words. Inside the spiritual Fire Mountain range, the Dragon Clan's guards were mining flame divine crystals. At this moment, two figures descended from the sky, causing countless people to look up at them. The warriors on the Crimson Flame planet were surprised. Who was this person? The Dragon Clan's guards snorted coldly. Who was it? How dare you behave atrociously here? Get down and kneel down. As soon as he finished speaking, a slap came from the sky. The face of the Dragon Clan's guard was shattered, and he was sent flying. He crashed into the mountain range. How dare you challenge the Dragon Clan? The other guards shouted angrily. The warriors on the blazing star were so frightened that they knelt on the ground. Who was this crazy person? 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. None of you will be able to leave alive today. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded out. He landed below. The guards of the dragon race at the front shouted angrily, You actually dare to come? As he spoke, he waved his hand and sent out a signal. Countless formations flickered in the surroundings as the silhouettes of experts appeared in the void one after another. They blotted out the sky and covered the earth. There were over 100 of them. Is it just the two of you? A Dragon Clan expert snorted coldly. They went to investigate the aura in the surroundings. They felt that there were definitely experts hiding. However, after looking around, he didn't find anything, only the two people in front of him. They roared. In front of them, the flames on Lin Xian's body were monstrous. They had already enveloped everything like a volcano. Their souls couldn't see each other's faces clearly. Lin Xian said coldly, What? How long has it been? Don't you know who I am? No matter who you are, you want to challenge us with just the two of you? You're courting death. Kill him. With an angry roar, the surrounding array formations activated countless sword arrays. The lightning formation and the flame formation covered the sky as they attacked. Sword energy swept across heaven and earth. Lightning descended from the sky. It carried destructive power. These array formations were enough to shatter everything. The entire world was completely pierced through. The people of the Crimson Flame planet were so scared that they fainted. They couldn't resist this power at all. Boom, boom, boom. Fire Dragon retreated far away and dodged this attack. Lin Xian didn't retreat at all. He allowed the power of these array formations to strike his body. An earth-shattering sound rang out as the endless void shattered. When the people of the Dragon Clan saw this scene, they laughed out loud. Stupid thing. How dare you challenge us? You can't even withstand a single blow. One move can kill you instantly. They laughed complacently. However, when the energy disappeared, the smiles on their faces disappeared. Instead, they were horrified. It was as if they had seen a ghost. How is this possible? You're not dead? They realized that the man in front of them was unharmed. There wasn't even a drop of blood. The other party stood there. Impossible. These array formations were extremely terrifying. A mid-stage great sage would definitely die if he encountered them. Even if he was a great sage, he would have to resist for a while. However, the other party didn't resist at all. How strong is the other party's defense? Is this the trap you set up? You can't even withstand a single blow. Your strength really disappoints me. Show me what else you have. Otherwise, it'll be my turn to counterattack. Lin Xian's voice rang out. The experts of the Dragon Clan had ugly expressions. The elders of the Dragon Clan roared and attacked with all their might. Hundreds of experts of the Dragon Clan attacked together. The Dragon Clan's magical powers covered the sky and earth as they attacked below. The entire mountain range shook violently and shattered into pieces. At this moment, they disregarded everything and wanted to kill the other party. It's over. We're going to die. The warriors on the fiery star were in despair. Such power was enough to kill them. At this moment, they realized that a golden palm enveloped them like a mountain, blocking all the attacks. Lin Xian stretched out his palm. On one hand, he protected the warriors on the fiery star. On the other hand, he was facing an overwhelming attack. He threw out another punch. One punch shattered heaven and earth. The magical powers that filled the sky were all shattered. The hundreds of experts of the Dragon Clan felt their blood boil. How is this possible? Are they crazy? The other party's punch is so powerful. Who are you? They roared. They had guessed that it might be Morong, Qingcheng, Monkey, and the others. However, it was completely different from the person in front of them. The flames on Lin Xian's body slowly disappeared, revealing his true face. Why? Don't you recognize me? It's you? When the elders of the Dragon Clan saw this face, they were completely stunned. How could they not recognize this face? They would never forget it even in their dreams. Lin Wudi, this is impossible. If you're dead, how could you appear here? They roared crazily. Could it be that he's not dead? But that's too unbelievable. An extreme weapon and 2 full-strength attacks. If he could survive, how terrifying would he be? But what's going on with this person? No, I have to report this to the Blazing Dragon Army. This is big news. They wanted to escape. However, the surrounding flames surged into the sky, forming a world of flames that blocked everyone's path. Lin Xian would not let anyone escape. Chapter 5195. Lin Xian's appearance stunned these people from the Dragon Clan. For a moment, they were all stunned. However, Lin Xian acted decisively and slammed his palm forward. The person in front instantly turned into a bloody mist his body pierced through. The few people beside him also vomited blood and flew backward. Miserable cries could be heard. This made the people of the Dragon Clan come back to their senses. Damn it! Quickly counterattack! An elder of the Dragon Clan shouted angrily, his body surrounded by terrifying lightning. He was from the Thunder Dragon Clan. However, just as he finished speaking, his pupils suddenly constricted. He discovered that Lin Xian had unknowingly arrived in front of him, less than half a meter away. At this distance, sensing the other party's aura, the Thunder Dragon Clan elder's body trembled. He couldn't control himself and wanted to kneel down. Die! He shouted angrily. He didn't allow himself to be afraid of a young man. He slapped out with his palm. The lightning on this palm transformed into a thunder dragon that roared crazily, shattering the endless void. With a boom, this palm slapped Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's body swayed, and the endless lightning disappeared. How was this possible? This elder was stunned. He was a mid-stage great sage and a terrifying expert. Could it be that this palm couldn't break the other party's defense? The other party was only an early-stage great sage. How could the difference be so great? Lin Xian sneered. Ignorant ant. He slapped towards the other party's shoulder. With a crack, the other party's shoulder instantly shattered. White bones appeared and blood dripped. That pain almost caused the elder of the Thunder Dragon tribe to faint. The difference was too great. He wanted to retreat. However, Lin Xian waved his hand. A saber light appeared and directly cut off the other party's legs. A miserable voice sounded. The Thunder Dragon Clan elder screamed crazily. He quickly retreated. The laws surrounded his body, and his broken body healed. Then, in the next moment, a large hand enveloped him. All the bones in his body shattered, and blood dripped from his fingertips. No, the Thunder Dragon Clan elder was terrified. However, it was useless. Under this palm, he turned into a bloody mist and no longer existed. Lin Xian loosened his grip and looked at Ba Huang. The surrounding people looked terrified. The other party was too strong. Everyone attacked together. An angry roar sounded. Those people once again attacked from all directions. Lin Xian allowed these people to attack as he struck out with his palms. More than a dozen figures turned into a bloody mist. Then, with another kick, the 7 figures shattered into pieces. It was as if Lin Xian had entered an unstoppable realm, sweeping through all directions. In the blink of an eye, half of the 100 Dragon Clan powerhouses had fallen. As for the remaining ones, they were all injured, and their faces were filled with fear. Damn it, Lin Wuyi, don't be too arrogant. Do you want to become enemies with the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? Another middle-aged man walked out and roared madly. Think clearly about the consequences of being our enemy. You can live once, but can you live a second time? Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, he flew out as if he had been struck by lightning. Cracks appeared all over his body. Lin Xian came to the other party's side, grabbed the other party's head, and sneered. How dare you threaten me? You want to kill me a second time? Do you think that's possible? With a wave of his hands, the other party's limbs were broken. A miserable voice was heard. I'm an elder of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. If you kill me, you're dead meat. Is that so? Lin Xian snorted coldly and directly shattered the other party's head. The elder's corpse fell from the sky. The other people's scalps went numb as they begged for mercy. Lin Gongzi, please spare our lives. We had no choice. Lin Gongzi, on account of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Why don't you stop now? We'll apologize to you. Apologize? Lin Xian's eyes turned cold as he smiled. Sure. Everyone kneel down. Cripple your own cultivation. Kneel on the ground, kowtow to me, and apologize. I'll give you a quick death. What? Kowtow and apologize? You still have to die. The surrounding Dragon Clan people were furious. The other party was too despicable. Don't go too far. Another old man roared furiously. However, he was split apart by Lin Xian's palm. Lin Xian grabbed the other party's broken body and laughed coldly. Going too far? Your 10,000 Dragon Dynasty used an extreme weapon against a young junior like me. Don't you think you're going too far? Now you have more than 100 powerhouses against me. Don't you think you're going too far? What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? Lin Xian roared. Just this voice alone was enough to destroy the old man's soul. Break out! Break out! Roars sounded one after another. Lin Xian and the others couldn't win at all. They could only quickly attack the array formation. However, this array formation was set up by Lin Xian, and it contained an extremely powerful 9-yang divine flame. The power of this flame caused countless people to burn when they got close. They retreated in fear. Damn it, let's fight it out. These people shouted angrily. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to fight me to the death? He formed a seal with his palms, and 6 suns appeared on his body, sweeping in all directions. It was as if 6 real suns had descended into the world. The entire world was instantly set ablaze. The scorching heat caused the world to burn, and the people inside screamed crazily. No, what is this? Why do I feel so scared? My body can't withstand the terrifying flames. Screams of terror rang out one after another. Under the 6 suns, everyone was set ablaze. They wanted to extinguish the flames, but they couldn't. In the end, everything disappeared into thin air. Everyone was reduced to ashes, and nothing remained. The 6 suns flew into Lin Xian's body and disappeared. The flames between heaven and earth disappeared. The people on the flame planet were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Dead. More than 100 dragon race powerhouses had all fallen. One had to know that these people could sweep through their entire world. But now they couldn't even withstand a single blow from a single person. What kind of power was this? They looked at Lin Xian with respect, as if they were facing a god, and all of them prostrated on the ground. Lin Xian waved his hand and split the chains on these people. Then he said, "You guys are free." The next moment he soared into the sky and flew into the distance. Fire Dragon Girl hurriedly followed. The two vanished, leaving behind only the shocked cultivators below. Flame Planet. In the magnificent Flame Hall, some dragon race powerhouses were extremely shocked at this moment. Something had happened, and more than 100 experts had fallen. This made them unable to believe it. What was going on? A sage-level elder walked over and asked coldly. The people below hurriedly recounted the matter. That sage-level elder's face turned gloomy after hearing. There was an enemy? You guys even set up a trap. Who was the enemy? How did they fall? Go. Quickly follow me to the Fire Spirit Mountain Range. These people soared into the sky. They headed to the Fire Spirit Mountain Range. When they arrived, they were dumbfounded. The Fire Spirit Mountain Range was shattered, and blood swept across heaven and earth, turning into a sea of blood. At this moment, there was no one left. Apart from the corpses of the dragon race powerhouses, there was nothing else. They were all dead. These people who rushed over couldn't believe it. More than 100 experts had all fallen, and not a single one was alive. Who was it that did this? Could it be that a top family had come? Chapter 5196. Who exactly is it? How dare you attack our dragon clan? You must have eaten the heart of a leopard. The elders of the dragon race roared frantically. As for the other young men and guards, they were terrified. They felt a wave of fear in their hearts. Too powerful. Someone was targeting the dragon race. Could it be that they were going to be wiped out? At this moment, an elder of the dragon race spoke coldly. What kind of joke is this? Our remaining people are even stronger. There are a few saints and even the Scarlet Flame Dragon Overlord. Do you think those people can withstand it no matter how strong they are? Yes, that's right. When these words were spoken, the young martial artists regained their confidence. They still had a lot of experts on their side. They would definitely be able to withstand it. Another elder spoke and walked back. At the same time, he gathered everyone back. We will guard the main hall. If those people want to make a move on us, they will definitely attack our main hall. We will decide the victor then. These people quickly returned to the main hall. At the same time, they sent out a signal to get everyone to return quickly. Those martial artists of the dragon race frowned. What was going on? Asking them to return at this time? Did something happen? When they returned and heard that many of their elite experts were killed, they were all stunned. This was impossible. This was impossible, right? Who could be so audacious? Find the enemy and dismember him into pieces. Over 100 experts had meticulously set up a trap. How terrifying was that force? But now, they were all wiped out. They didn't even know who the enemy was. We will know soon enough. I think that group of people will definitely come. They will guard the main hall. On the other side, Lin Xian left the Spirit Fire Mountain Range and went to the other mountain ranges. He realized that the people there had already left. Lin Xian frowned. It seemed like they had already received the news and gathered together. He looked at Fire Dragon Lady and asked, "Do you know where their base is?" Fire Dragon Lady nodded and led the way. 2 days later, Lin Xian stopped and looked at the majestic palace and residence in front of him. His eyes flickered with astonishment. "Is this the place?" He looked at Fire Dragon Lady and said, "Wait here. I will go there myself." Fire Dragon Lady took a deep breath. "Young master, be careful. Don't worry. With just them, they won't be able to hurt me." Lin Xian transformed into a streak of light and flew into the distance. Many guards were guarding the Dragon Clan's mansion. Some people were chatting. "Humph, I think those enemies don't even dare to come." "That's right, they only dare to launch sneak attacks. They don't dare to fight us head on. Who do those people think they are? Since they dared to come to my dragon clan, I will definitely destroy them. The eyes of these guards were filled with arrogance. Kill me. I'm standing right here. You can try. At this moment, a voice rang out. As soon as he said this, all the guards in the mansion were stunned. Who's talking? The next moment, they saw a figure walking over. Who are you? They saw that the person opposite them was covered in flames, as if he was a fire god. The terrifying heat spread out in all directions, causing the entire void to tremble. No one answered them. What answered him was only a terrifying flame. The two guards were instantly reduced to ashes. The surrounding guards were also alarmed and rushed over. Who was it? It was the enemy. Attack quickly. They quickly took action. Lin Xian waved his hand and shot out a fire dragon that filled the sky. It covered the sky and covered the earth as it charged forward. Those guards were enveloped and let out miserable cries in the end. Damn it, what was going on? What a terrifying flame. This was the aura of the Dragon Clan. Why was it the Dragon Clan? They went crazy and let out miserable cries. These guards were terrified and in despair. Previously, they gathered together and chatted. They even mocked their opponents for only daring to launch sneak attacks and not fighting head-on. In their opinion, no one was a match for the Dragon Clan. But now, the other party gently waved his hand, and the countless Dragon Clan warriors on their side found it difficult to resist. Was there such a terrifying person in the world? And it was an expert of the Dragon Clan. They couldn't figure out who the other party was? In despair, these people were all burned to ashes. The commotion here naturally attracted the attention of the people in the mansion. There was the aura of flames. Not good. Our people are dying. It seemed that the enemy was here. Let's go. Some Dragon Clan experts rushed out. Before they could go out, they saw the door of the mansion shatter with a bang. Immediately after, the fire dragon covered the sky and charged over. The Dragon Clan warriors at the front were all sent flying and vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Their bodies were charred black. What a terrifying flame. These people were terrified, as if they were facing a great enemy. They wondered how many enemies had come this time. Thousands? Tens of thousands? They couldn't be sure. Everyone's gaze turned to the front. In the next moment, a figure appeared in front of them. A figure surrounded by flames walked over with large strides. Every step he took caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. It was as if a fire god had descended. What a terrifying figure. This person was definitely a top-notch expert. The Dragon Clan experts were extremely nervous. They didn't know how many more people there would be after this, but after waiting for a long time, they found that there was only one figure in front of them. There was no one else. What? Only one person? They were stunned. This was impossible. They couldn't believe that a person dared to be so bold. Quickly investigate and see if there was any trap. These people stretched out their souls and searched everywhere, but they found that there was no one around. There was only one person in front of them. Lin Xian smashed the mountain gate with a palm and walked in. Looking at the stunned faces around, he laughed coldly. Where was the red flame dragon god? Tell him to scram out and die. Hearing this voice, the Dragon Clan warriors in front all came back to their senses. They hollered in rage. Damn it, who are you? Why are you attacking the Dragon Clan? You dare to be rude to the red flame dragon god. Do you want to die? Furious roars rang out one after another. Lin Xian scoffed coldly. He waved his hand, and a terrifying light flew out. Instantly, the few people who roared screamed and turned into ashes. The others were terrified. The power of the flame was too terrifying. At this moment, an elder walked out and said, "We don't know who you are and don't know your grudge with the Dragon Clan. But I want to remind you that the Dragon Clan belongs to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty is an emperor race, and I don't need to say how strong they are. If you offend us, you offend the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. How many heads do you think you have? How dare you fight against us? Lin Wuti, have you heard of him? He is a young emperor, but wasn't he still killed by us? Kowtow and apologize obediently and accept our punishment. Otherwise, you will end up like Lin Wuti. Why were they talking nonsense with him? No matter how strong he was, could he be a match for an emperor race? Once an extreme weapon was used, even if he had 10,000 lives, it wouldn't be enough. As he finished speaking, the eyes of the Dragon Clan warriors shone with a cold light. They regained their confidence. Chapter 50, 197. Lin Xian's eyes flashed when he heard the other party's words. These people thought that he was dead. How dare they threaten him with extreme weapons? He looked at the smug dragon tribe elder in front of him and suddenly attacked. He threw a punch. The flames on it surged into the sky and turned into the illusion of 6 suns. It was like the 6 paths world. This was the combination of the divine fire and the 6 paths fist. With a boom, the dragon tribe elder instantly shattered and turned into a bloody mist. His soul was burned by the flames, and his body and soul were destroyed. He was dead. The surrounding dragon tribe warriors were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. They could not believe that a powerful elder of the dragon clan had been killed by the other party in one move. Who was this person? He was not human at all. This was something that only a demon god could do. Damn it. At this moment, someone roared. He dared to kill our elder. Kill him. These people roared crazily. Their eyes were red as they strode over. They surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Kill me? I think you're the ones going to hell. Everyone, attack together. Don't hold back. These people from the dragon tribe were completely enraged and walked out. With a roar, the dragon blood on their bodies surged, and a terrifying aura swept in all directions. Some people stretched out their terrifying dragon claws, and some threw out their terrifying dragon tails. Some people changed their bodies and directly turned into giant dragons. One man was surrounded by lightning and turned into a 1,000 feet long lightning dragon. He roared at the sky and shook the 9 heavens. Another person turned into a terrifying fire dragon. There was also a sword dragon, cloud dragon, and wind dragon. They covered the sky and earth and roared in the 9 heavens. On the fiery star, the native warriors looked at this scene in the distance and knelt on the ground in fear. Heavens! This scene made them feel like they were watching a legend. The dragon tribe was angry. Who dared to anger them? In the distance, Fire Dragon Lady also clenched her fists nervously. Although Lin Xian was strong, would he be able to withstand 10 million Dragon Clan experts alone? With just you? Although Lin Xian was surrounded, he looked in all directions with a disdainful expression. The next moment he took a step forward, and the divine fire on his body erupted. The power of the 9 yang divine body was displayed, transforming into 6 sun phantoms that revolved around him. The moment the 6 suns appeared, monstrous flames shattered the firmament. At this moment, many powerful beings of the dragon race were sent flying out as their massive bodies smashed through everything. Lei Long's body was charred black as he screamed in pain. The sword dragon howled in grief. Wind dragon and cloud dragon were badly mutilated. At this moment, just the aura alone was enough to make them unable to withstand it. Lin Xian's strength was top-notch, and even the emperor's son might not be a match for him. In addition, he had absorbed the dragon prince's bloodline before, and then he had fought his way out of death. He obtained a wisp of purple sun divine fire. This allowed his 9 yang divine body to make another breakthrough. Its current power was truly terrifying to the extreme. Therefore, how could these people from the dragon clan be a match for him? Damn it, why was he so strong? Being blasted away by the flames on the other party's body. Those dragon clan people kept roaring. Their faces were filled with terror. "Let me do it." At this moment, an old man walked over. His body was covered in dragon scales. He was an elder, a saint-level elder. After he walked over, he sent out a palm strike. It was like a cloud of fire that enveloped heaven and earth. Lin Xian snorted coldly and sent out a punch, causing a sky-shaking sound to echo. The other party's palm shattered and was sent flying. No, those people from the Dragon Clan were about to kneel. This was a saint, a late-stage great sage that was extremely powerful. Who could be a match for him? But now he was injured by a single punch from the other party. The other party should be a peak-level saint, right? How could such a person come? So powerful. That saint elder's face was filled with terror. His body was shaking and his qi and blood were surging. Lin Xian looked at the other party with surprise. "You actually didn't die. It seems like your physique is extraordinary." He was indeed shocked. It might be a casual punch, but with his current strength, ordinary saints wouldn't be able to withstand it. Cracks appeared on the other party's body, but it didn't shatter. It was indeed out of his expectations. The Saint Lord Elder's face turned extremely ugly. The other party could kill a saint with a single punch? What a joke! He was a member of the Dragon Clan. His bloodline was powerful, and his physique was unparalleled. But now he was receiving such an evaluation. He couldn't accept it. "Damn it. I am going to kill you." He rushed over and transformed his body. The dragon scales on his body burst out. The terrifying dragon claws had sharp power and seemed to be even more terrifying than saint artifacts. 2 pairs of dragon claws slammed onto Lin Xian's body. "Ha ha, die." The saint elder sneered. The surrounding Dragon Clan members also laughed when they were hit by this kind of power. Lin Xian's body would definitely shatter, and he would definitely die. Clang! A sky-shaking sound echoed, and the Saint Elder's expression became terrified. He realized that he couldn't break through Lin Xian's defense. How is this possible? Is Lin Xian wearing a divine armor? Lin Xian looked at the other party and laughed. "You are too weak and can't even break through my defense." While speaking, he reached out his hand and grabbed onto the other party's dragon claws. He gently waved his hand. There was a cracking sound, and the pair of dragon claws that were even more terrifying than saint artifacts were instantly broken. The Saint Elder let out a miserable cry. Lin Xian's strength was beyond his imagination. He wanted to escape, but it was already too late. Lin Xian's leg flew out and kicked his body. It was as if he was struck by lightning. He flew out and smashed into countless palaces. His body was shattered into countless pieces and scattered all over the ground. One kick, and his soul was destroyed. He died again. The surrounding Dragon Clan experts were terrified. This time, it was a saint who made a move. But he couldn't even block one move. What is wrong with this person? Why is he so terrifying? Damn it. 2 people flew over from the distant palace. It was a middle-aged man and a middle-aged woman. They were both saints. After they arrived, they said coldly, everyone should form a formation and kill him with formations. The 2 of them took out 2 saint artifacts from their storage rings. The terrifying saint artifacts bloomed with radiance and attacked at the same time. The formation bombarded him, but Lin Xian wasn't afraid. His physique was able to defend against everything. Then he stomped his foot and charged forward. He stretched out his palms and attacked the 2 saints. "Damn it! How dare you?" The 2 saints shouted angrily. Was Lin Xian going to fight the 2 of them alone? He was looking down on them. The middle-aged man on the left roared. In his hand, there was a bronze hammer. As it swayed, it carried the power of laws. It was a terrifying saint artifact. The woman on the right held a pagoda in her hand. As it opened and closed, it was as if millions of mountains were falling from the sky. The 2 of them used all their strength. The entire world was constantly shattering. The surrounding Dragon Clan martial artists also roared crazily. Kill him! They attacked from afar and activated the formation at the same time. The monstrous power was all aimed at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. He waved his fists and attacked the two saint artifacts. A voice that shook the skies sounded. At the same time, the phantoms of 6 suns appeared and flew in all directions. Those suns shredded the formation and enveloped the Dragon Clan martial artists. Those who were hit were all turned into ashes. The others also vomited blood and were sent flying. Lin Xian entered a realm where no one could stop him. Chapter 5198. Damn it, you dare? When the two saints saw this scene, they yelled out in anger. They wanted to help, but Lin Xian's hands stopped their saint artifacts. You want to leave now? The power on his palms exploded and turned into 2 terrifying sword lights that slashed forward. The 2 saint artifacts were repelled, and the 2 saints' chi and blood were in turmoil. He is too strong. Let's fight it out with him. Union of man. An artifact. The 2 saints' bodies fused with the saint artifacts and quickly rushed over. Rumbling sounds echoed, and Lin Xian's arms were numb. Incredible. The 2 of them still had such methods. His face was gloomy as he formed a seal with his left hand. Demonic god seal. With a palm strike, the pagoda was sent flying with a bang. The middle-aged woman vomited blood, and half of her body turned into blood mist. On the other side, the demonic god finger flew out and tapped on the bronze hammer. The middle-aged man's body was penetrated, and he let out a miserable scream. How can he be so strong? Let's escape. The 2 saints had ugly expressions. If they continued fighting, the remaining people would all fall. It seemed like they could only escape. Lin Xian looked at the 2 of them and sneered. Want to escape? Today, none of you can escape. He slowly raised his hands, and the 9 suns split the heavens, swept across the world. A vast flame danced in the air and swept out in all directions. On his body, there were 9 sun illusions, and 6 of them were extremely solid. They were like real suns that instantly shrouded the world. These flames burst out together. The 9 suns' divine flames were the flames of extreme yang, and its power was extremely terrifying. Within these flames, there was a trace of faint purple radiance. It was the purple sun's divine flames. The power of the Emperor's flame. It swept over with a monstrous status. At this moment, the void shattered and the palaces and pavilions collapsed. The surrounding people were instantly penetrated by the flames. The 2 great saints had ugly expressions as well. Quickly retreat. The 2 of them frantically retreated. However, they were hit by the 2 suns, and their bodies were ignited. No, they roared frantically and used all their strength to defend. However, the saint artifacts also melted in the sun. They were completely mad and in despair. Red Flame Ancestor, save us. At the most critical moment, they sent out a cry for help. There was an even more terrifying saint in seclusion here, the Scarlet Flame Saint. He was probably the only one who could save them. However, it was too late. As soon as they shouted, their bodies melted and their souls were extinguished. Everything in the world ceased to exist in the raging flames. When the 9 sun illusions disappeared, the entire mansion was razed to the ground. Lin Xian was the only one standing in the pitch-black land, looking like a demon god. In the distance, the people on the blazing star looked at the scene in the sky in shock. They knelt down and kept worshipping. The appearance of 9 suns meant that the sun god had descended. Are they here to save us? They crawled towards the distance with hope. On the other side, in the void, Fire Dragon Lady's pupils contracted. She could sense that the aura of the Dragon Clan was rapidly disappearing. After that, he could no longer feel it. They had all died. So many elders, including the 3 great saints, had fallen, and this was all done by Lin Xian alone. He didn't use a legendary saint weapon, nor did he use the power of an extreme Tao weapon. Was he already so terrifying with his own strength? No wonder he dared to go alone. Perhaps he could really kill the Scarlet Flame Saint. After all, Lin Xian's trump card was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian stood on the ground and looked at the ashes around him. His eyes were cold. These people deserved it. If they didn't kill him, they wouldn't have ended up like this. However, the battle wasn't over yet. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord hadn't come out yet. Lin Xian wouldn't leave. His eyes flickered with the power of reincarnation as he looked around. Soon he looked down at the ground. With a cold snort, he stomped his feet, and the ground cracked open, turning into a valley that was 1,000,000 miles wide. Lin Xian said coldly, "Are you still going to hide under the ground? Come out and accept your death." "Who is it? How dare you disturb my cultivation?" Beneath the ground, a cold voice rang out, bringing with it endless fury. The clouds in the sky were crumbling. At the same time, there were 4 other cold voices. "How dare you disturb a saint's cultivation? Are you tired of living? Men, take him down." 4 figures flew out. These were 4 young people, the geniuses of the 10,000 Dragon Court. After they came out, they wanted to summon the dragon race's experts. But looking at the surroundings that had been razed to the ground, they were stunned. Where was this? Where was their dragon race's residence? "Saint, this is bad." The 4 young geniuses' voices trembled. "Humph, didn't I tell you to be calm when you encounter things? You have to be calm even if the primordial demon mountain collapses in front of you. Have you forgotten what I've taught you?" A cold snort sounded. The 4 young people's faces turned pale. They were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. The voice came from below again. "I want to see what can make you so panicked." A figure stepped into the air and rose into the air. He carried a powerful flaming dragon's might as he came to the ground. After coming out, he was also stunned. His pupils constricted. What was going on? The surrounding ground was charred black, as if it had been burned by fire. Where was their dragon race's residence? Where were the dragon race's saints? What was going on? The red flame dragon god shouted coldly, "We don't know." The 4 young people were so scared that they were about to cry. In the end, they raised their heads and pointed at the figure in front of them. "It's him. We saw him after we came out. He was the one who attacked." Someone dared to attack in the dragon race's territory? The red flame dragon god turned his head. In the next moment, he frowned. "Who are you?" he shouted coldly. He felt a familiar aura from the other party, but he felt that it was an illusion. It couldn't be that person. "Red flame dragon god. Have you gone senile? You don't even recognize me." Lin Xian laughed coldly. "I'm here to take revenge on you." "Take revenge on me? Who are you?" "Stop pretending to be mysterious." The red flame dragon god snorted coldly. "I've killed too many people. Who do you think you are? Reveal your identity." "I won't kill nameless people." Lin Xian laughed. "Since you want to die, I'll let you know." The flames on his body slowly disappeared, and all of them entered his body. In the next moment, his face appeared. "Why? Do you remember? It's you." The red flame dragon god looked at the young and handsome face, dumbfounded. How could he forget this person? One had to know that the dragon race's experts had imprinted this face deeply in their souls, because it was this person who killed the dragon prince. He was their peerless enemy. However, this was something that happened a few years ago. Didn't he die under an extreme weapon? Why would he appear here? Impossible. The red flame dragon god shook his head frantically. "You can't be that person. That person is already dead. His heart and soul are destroyed. He can't be revived. Who are you? Are you his friend? Are you trying to scare me with this method? Ridiculous. Go to hell." The red flame dragon god was furious. He turned into lightning and charged over. Chapter 51:99. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Overlord wasn't an ordinary saint. His strength was much stronger than the previous two saints. Therefore, the power of this punch was shocking. The void in front of them shattered and spread for thousands of miles, turning into a black hole. Was he dead? The four young geniuses sneered. Going against the 10,000 dragon dynasty was courting death, but soon they were stunned and didn't dare to think about it anymore, because they realized that the young man had appeared beside them. After so many years, your strength hasn't improved at all. Lin Xian dodged the attack and sneered. How is that possible? The scarlet flame dragon god's pupils constricted. Did he dodge? He didn't notice it at all. Could it be that Lin Xian had become stronger? I don't believe that you're that person. I don't believe that anyone can survive an extreme weapon. One had to know that Lin Xian didn't have an extreme weapon when he attacked him. Under such circumstances, the Dragon Prince would definitely die. How could Lin Xian survive? Therefore, all of this was an illusion. He definitely wasn't that Lin Wuti. Kill. With a roar, he charged out. Scarlet Flame Divine Palm. He struck out with his palm like a god's palm, bringing with it a monstrous power. This was the ultimate technique of the dragon race. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian didn't retreat this time. He snorted coldly, clenched his fist, and punched out. Boom. The two collided. It was like two worlds clashing. With the two of them as the center, a terrifying aura swept out in all directions. The void instantly shattered. The four geniuses were terrified. Oh no! They retreated. In an instant, they were enveloped by the remnant power of the energy. The four of them didn't even have time to scream before their souls were destroyed. Damn it! The scarlet flame dragon god's face turned ugly when he saw this. Dead. Are the four geniuses dead? One had to know that they were the four geniuses of their family. He had thought highly of them, so he brought them along to guide them. But now, they were killed by the remnant power of the energy. Their deaths were too humiliating. But soon, he was no longer in the mood to care about the four geniuses, because his expression was filled with fear and shock. In front of him, Lin Xian's fist blocked his palm. Even his palm began to tremble. The flames on it were suppressing him. How could this be? He had fought with Lin Wuti before. The other party was strong, but he was no match for him. It was only because the other party launched a sneak attack on him and used a sacred weapon that he was able to injure him. Otherwise, the other party wouldn't be a match for him at all. But now the other party had easily blocked this palm strike with just the strength of his physique. The power of the divine body. The red flame dragon monarch gritted his teeth. He was truly terrified. The 9-yang divine body in this world was probably only Lin Xian. Even if he imparted it to others, it would be impossible for them to cultivate it to such a level. It would take at least a few hundred years. In just a few short years, it was absolutely impossible. Therefore, the person in front of him was undoubtedly Lin Xian. But how did the other party survive? 2 full-powered attacks from an apex weapon, yet the other party was still alive. This was too shocking. What kind of secrets did the other party possess? He didn't dare to think about it anymore. If such a person were to grow up, it would be a crisis for the Dragon Clan. No, I have to inform my family. Even if he had to disregard everything, he had to use an extreme weapon to kill the other party. He quickly retreated, wanting to send a message. However, Lin Xian took a step forward. Shadowless Heaven's net instantly closed in on the other party. What, do you want to repeat the scene from before? Do you think I will give you a chance to send a message to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? You have no chance. Lin Xian punched out. The red flame dragon monarch was forced back and spat out blood. Damn it! He retreated explosively, turning into a bolt of lightning and charging into the distance. He would leave and then send a message to his family. He turned into a dragon shadow, passed through the clouds, and disappeared. You want to leave? Lin Xian snorted coldly. A pair of demon god wings appeared on his back. He spread them and soared into the sky. His speed had also reached the limit. In an instant, he caught up to the red flame dragon monarch. How was that possible? The red flame dragon monarch was terrified. "Why are you so fast?" Lin Xian sneered. "It seems that you are too confident. Today, I will let you see my true strength." He roared, and 9 suns appeared on his body. The 6 suns were incomparably real. They condensed in his hands, and a flaming divine sword appeared. 9 suns split the sky. He waved his hands. At this moment, the entire planet shook violently, and countless cracks appeared below. The sky above the 9 heavens was split into 2 by the sword. No. Sensing this scene, the red flame dragon monarch frantically blocked. What kind of sword was this? It was too terrifying. "Block it!" He burned his dragon blood and roared crazily. "Red flame fire god." The flames on his body condensed and emitted a monstrous light, forming the illusion of a fire god to resist the sword. An earth-shattering sound rang out, destroying the world. Below, the wind and rain blew. Countless cultivators of the fiery planet knelt on the ground. This power was enough to destroy their planet. Fortunately, the 2 of them had arrived above the 9 heavens. Most of the power was transmitted to the outer space. The pitch-black universe also lit up at this moment. It was like an aurora that spread in all directions. Some people in the universe felt it and were instantly terrified. They looked into the distance. Heavens, what was that? 2 fire element powerhouses were fighting. Was that a fire god? What was the other one? Was there a sun attacking a planet? They saw 6 suns turn into a divine sword and slash at the fire god. Then the entire universe seemed to be split into 2. Endless cracks spread toward this side. Some people who wanted to get closer to watch the battle instantly fled. It was too terrifying. Roar. An angry roar rang out in the world. The illusion of the fire god was split into 2. The flames in half of the starry sky disappeared, and the figure of the red flame dragon monarch appeared. At this moment, the red flame dragon monarch was stunned in midair. His body trembled, and his pupils constricted. The light in his eyes disappeared. Impossible! A crack slowly appeared between his eyebrows. Then it spread across his entire body. His body was split into 2, and his soul was also disappearing. He was in despair. The other party actually insta-killed him with 1 sword. What had the other party experienced in the past few years? Not only did he not die, but his strength had also increased greatly. The 10,000 Dragons dynasty was in danger. He could imagine what kind of blow the 10,000 Dragons dynasty would suffer. He wanted to send a message, but he couldn't do it anymore. Boom. The broken corpse fell and burned. In the universe, it turned into a bright flame that illuminated the world. Then, it quickly disappeared. A few years later, the red flame dragon monarch was killed by Lin Xian with 1 sword. Lin Xian retracted the 6 sun illusions. His expression was cold. He turned around and flew towards the fiery world below. Below, the cultivators on the fiery planet looked up at the sky. When they saw Lin Xian return, they kept bowing to him. Lin Xian stood above the 9 heavens and said loudly, "The 10,000 Dragons dynasty, the red flame dragon monarch, and the other dragons were all destroyed." Chapter 5200. Was he dead? Were all those terrifying dragon race experts dead? In their eyes, the scarlet flame dragon god was a godlike existence. When he first arrived, he defeated them with just a look. He was the strongest person in the world. They couldn't resist at all. In the end, they became prisoners. Now, such a person had been killed. Who was this young man in front of them? No, he wasn't human. He was a god. He was a godlike existence. Greetings, exalted immortal. They kept worshiping him. Exalted immortal, you've done us a favor. From now on, Exalted immortals will be respected. The world core flew out and floated into the sky. The corners of Lin Xian's lips curled up. Very good, he had obtained a realm core. From now on, no one would be able to attack them. He waved his hand and sent out the 9 suns illusion into the ground. Then, endless fire spirit veins quickly gathered and rolled. A monstrous and terrifying power was forming. I've set up the 9 suns array here. It's an extremely powerful fire array. Combined with the power of fire in your world, even a sage would die. Thank you, exalted immortal. The cultivators on the fiery star were overjoyed. With such an array, they would be safe in the future. Fire Dragon Lady also flew over, her face full of shock. Were they really dead? They had all fallen. Lin Xian nodded. They couldn't withstand a single blow. Come back with me. Return to the buried Emperor Star, save your family, and take revenge on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Then the 2 of them turned into lightning and disappeared into the universe. The people in the outer space looked into the distance in shock. Was the battle over? It couldn't be, right? Shouldn't such people fight for months or even years? One had to know that it was very difficult to kill a top expert in one move. But now the phenomenon in front of them had disappeared. They were bewildered as they flew forward. They came to the place where the battle had taken place and felt the remnant aura. They were terrified. It was too terrifying. There was sage blood here. Why do I feel like it's the aura of the dragon race? Did an expert of the dragon race die? They sucked in a cold breath. This must be the fiery star. It was said that the blazing flame dragon lord had once led the experts of the dragon race here, mining the flame divine crystals. Could it be that the person who fought before was the scarlet flame dragon monarch? It was very likely. But where was he now? Could he be dead? That was impossible, right? Who could defeat such a terrifying existence? Have you noticed? The person fighting the blazing flame dragon monarch was surrounded by a terrifying illusion of the sun. That person was also an incredible expert. Was he from the Golden Crow clan that possessed the illusion of the sun? No, the Golden Crow clan only had one sun phantom. That person had 9, the 9 yang divine body. Someone exclaimed. This kind of yang divine physique was the strongest physique under the starry sky. These people naturally knew. No, I heard that Lin Wudi with the 9 yang divine body was killed by the extreme weapon of the 1,000 Dragon Court in Solar Divine Palace a few years ago. It was impossible for a second 9 yang divine body to appear in this world. Then, who was the person from before? They were extremely puzzled. Could it be that Lin Wudi was still alive and had come to take revenge on the Scarlet Flame Saint? That was impossible. How could he survive the attack of an extreme weapon? Even the Dragon Prince was killed by an extreme weapon. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't have survived. It was said that he didn't have anything on him that could save his life. But how could that be explained? Only Lin Wudi would take revenge on the Scarlet Flame Dragon Monarch. It was said that the blazing flame dragon monarch had tipped off Lin Wudi, causing him to be hunted down by an extreme weapon. This Lin Wudi was too mysterious. He could even kill the dragon prince. Was there anything he couldn't do? Perhaps he really wasn't dead. Thinking of this possibility, these people sucked in a breath of cold air. Let's not talk about it. This isn't something we can imagine. Let's go. These people returned to their respective worlds. They weren't from the buried Emperor Star. They were just people from the nearby star fields. After returning, they spread the news to the cultivators in their respective worlds. Those people were extremely shocked when they heard it. No way. Lin Wudi wasn't dead. It was too inconceivable. Why did it feel like a dream? If it really was Lin Wudi, then a huge storm was coming. There was probably going to be a huge battle on the buried Emperor Star. Countless people looked up at the starry sky. What happened to that mysterious star? Buried Emperor Star. The two silhouettes arrived, quietly without alerting anyone. They were hiding in the forest. They were Lin Xian and Fire Dragon Lady. I wonder how those people are doing. Lin Xian was very worried about Morong Qingcheng and the others. Fire Dragon Lady said, I know some things, but I don't know much about it in recent years. What happened before? Lin Xian asked. Fire Dragon Lady said that the 4 Emperor-level figures who joined forces with you are all fine. They have extreme weapons in their hands and are working together. They also have the resources of their families. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had attacked them before, but they were helpless. But, hearing that Morong Qingcheng and the others were not in danger, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Soon he asked again, but what? The Black Sea no longer existed. The 10,000 Dragon picture had attacked the Black Sea Dragon race. Although they had resisted, the Black Sea had already been torn apart. Countless demonic beasts had fallen and turned into a sea of blood. It was like hell. It wasn't just the Black Sea Dragon race. The other families were also being suppressed. For example, the Fire Dragon race became prisoners. Some people from the Duga family and the Nalan family were killed and heavily injured. The martialists of the Divine Union no longer dared to leave the path. They were even inexplicably injured in the path. It could be said that no one related to the Divine Union had a good life. Lin Xian's face darkened when he heard this. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was courting death. He was really angry. This time, not only did he want to take revenge on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, but he also wanted to let the world know that there was no good ending for those who allied with the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Let's save the Fire Dragon race first, Lin Xian said. Fire Dragon Girl's face lit up. Really? Thank you, Lin Gongzi. Lin Xian shook his head. This matter started because of me. I will give you a satisfactory explanation. The two of them quickly set off for the Fire Dragon race. The Fire Dragon race was no longer glorious. The entire Fire Dragon race had become prisoners. The ones controlling them were the Wind Dragon race. The Wind Dragon race had always sided with the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Now that they were in control of the Fire Dragon race, they were naturally very happy. The Fire Dragon race's territory and various resources were all under their control. On top of that, they could also control the life and death of the Fire Dragon race. They had even started to use the dragon blood of the Fire Dragon race. It was used to purify their bloodline. At the moment, the Fire Dragon race was full of vitality. Many of them were chained and injured. Every day they had to contribute their dragon blood. There were countless large cauldrons in the mansion. Inside, a bloody light flickered with astonishing power. Chapter 52:01. The Fire Dragon race was in a pitiful state. The Fire Dragon race roared, in a frenzy. Damn it, if you have the ability, give us a quick death. If you torture us like this, you will suffer retribution. Retribution? The Wind Dragon race laughed out loud. Stupid things, now that Lin Wudi is dead. Who dares to attack us? In the future, the world will belong to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. All of you can go and die. An arrogant voice rang out. You dare. At this moment, a cold shout spread out. Shortly after, a person appeared in the residence like a streak of light. Who was it? The Wind Dragon race frowned. At the next moment, they were stunned. It's you. Why are you here? The members of the Fire Dragon clan were also stunned. It was the princess of the Fire Dragon race, Fire Dragon Princess. Wasn't she sent to the Flame Star to dig for flame god crystals? Why did she come back? Are you alone? The Wind Dragon race laughed coldly. Good, your bloodline is stronger. I think it can improve my bloodline. A young man from the Wind Dragon clan walked over and reached out his hand to grab Fire Dragon Lady. Hong! An earth-shattering sound rang out. With a scream, the genius of the Wind Dragon race flew out. His palm shattered, and his face was filled with fear. You dare to hurt me? He roared in a frenzy. Men, suppress him. I want him to live a life worse than death. The surrounding Wind Dragon Race members all walked over. The Fire Dragon Race members were in despair. Princess, run! They shouted. Fire Dragon Princess didn't escape at all. She stood there, and a person appeared behind her. It was a black-robed man, Lin Xian. After Lin Xian came out, he looked around. Wind Dragon Race, kneel down and accept your death. Who are you? The Wind Dragon Race members roared in rage. Fire Dragon Princess, since you dare to resist, then don't blame us for being impolite. Attack. With a command, the Wind Dragon Clan's people quickly rushed over. Lin Xian scoffed coldly. A cold aura appeared in his eyes. Monstrous flames swept in all directions. In an instant, the entire world turned into a sun world. The people from the Wind Dragon Race froze. They felt the scorching flames and became terrified. It was as if the other party could tear them to pieces with just a glance. Who are you? They were terrified. Just a single strand of the other party's aura was enough to make them so scared. He was probably an extremely terrifying senior figure. Lin Xian took off his cloak and looked forward. What? You don't even recognize me. What? It's you, Lin Wuyi. How can you still be alive? The people of the Wind Dragon Race were terrified. Run. They wanted to leave, but Lin Xian snorted coldly. 9 suns split the heavens. Endless suns flew out and enveloped all the people of the Wind Dragon tribe. Flames swept across the sky, burning heaven and earth. The experts of the Wind Dragon clan were all annihilated. The next moment, the sun phantom disappeared. The people of the Fire Dragon Race were all stunned. Did he die? Did the Wind Dragon clan all perish? Heavens, what kind of method was this? They looked at the young man in front of them, and their bodies began to sway. Lin Gongzi, you're still alive. That's great. They cried tears of joy. With Lin Xian alive, there was hope. They could turn the tables. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms. The longevity battle armor flew out and continued to expand. It covered the entire residence. The injured Fire Dragon Race cultivators were covered by the powerful life force of the longevity battle armor. The cracks on their bodies quickly healed. What a terrifying life force. These people were even more shocked. Lin Xian was like a god. He could control life and death with a raise of his hand. Greetings, Leader Lin Gongzi. 5 minutes later, the people of the Fire Dragon Race gathered together. They bowed respectfully to Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded, and then looked at Fire Dragon Lady. Take your clansmen to hide and recuperate. Young master, what about you? Fire Dragon Lady asked. She said that they could attack together. Lin Xian shook his head. No, all of you should gather your strength first and wait for the time when I need you. When I need you, I'll summon you. Yes, we understand. Fire Dragon Lady waved her hand and led the people of the Fire Dragon Race away. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Next was the Nalan family. His allies, the Duga family, were all suppressed. They were suppressed by the Thunder Dragon Race and the Sword Dragon Race. They were living very miserably. Lin Xian attacked and killed the people of the Thunder Dragon Race and the Wind Dragon Race. He saved the Nalan family and the Duga family. Lin Gongzi, it's great that you're still alive. Greetings, Lin Gongzi. Patriarch Nalan, Patriarch Dugu, and the others were so excited that they shed tears. They finally saw hope. Lin Xian said, rest well and recover. Leave the rest to me. This was only the beginning. Lin Xian would not stop here. The deaths of these dragon race cultivators set off a small storm. However, the majority of people on the buried Emperor's Star had not received the news. In their opinion, Lin Xian had already fallen. Let's return to the Divine Union first. Lin Xian returned to the ancient city and walked towards the path. He strolled leisurely, but his figure was incomparably ethereal. Every step he took was like lightning. People with ordinary strength could not see him at all. Elder Yi had returned from the sacred Origin Tower. He was an elder of the Yi family. He had gone to the Abyss Tower to inquire about some things. When he returned, he narrowed his eyes. The current situation was surging like a storm. Lin Xian had fallen. The Dragon Prince had fallen. The next battle between the Thearchs would probably be even more intense. He had to make preparations for Yi Wudao. Suddenly, he was stunned and his pupils shrank. It seemed like someone had just passed by. However, he did not catch sight of the figure at all. An expert, he hurriedly used his soul spirit to investigate. Under his powerful soul spirit, he discovered a figure. The figure was dressed in black and was strolling leisurely. His speed was extremely fast. What a strange movement technique. When did such a person come to the ancient city? Moreover, it was a young figure. He was shocked. Could it be that another Tharch had come? He examined it even more carefully. Suddenly, his pupils constricted. Could it be? He caught sight of the black-robed figure in front of him. He saw the side of his face. This made him feel as if he had been struck by lightning. When he took a closer look, the person had already disappeared. Impossible! Was it him? Why was he here? Didn't he die in the Sun Palace? He realized that the person's side profile looked very similar to Lin Wudi's. Was he really back? Was he not dead? No, this was big news. Although the Yi family elder was not sure, he had to hurry back and inform Yi Wudao. This figure was naturally Lin Xian. Lin Xian arrived near the path. Before he entered, he heard people talking about how miserable the current Divine Union was. That's right. The Divine Union's boss, Lin Wudi, had fallen. Rosalong and Toad had also escaped. The current Divine Union was in a precarious situation. Coupled with the crazy suppression of the Dragon Palace, it was very miserable. I reckon that in a few days, the Divine Union will decline and disappear completely. Chapter 5202. Lin Xian frowned when he heard that. Then his body flashed, and he entered the path. He flew toward the Divine Union. At that moment, the Divine Union's mountain gate had been destroyed, and many cracks had appeared on the surrounding walls. The array formation was also dim. Lin Xian was about to enter when he heard some people arguing inside the Divine Union. Some people sighed. Looks like we won't be able to hold on for much longer. Bai Susu said in a low voice, "What's wrong? Have you lost your confidence? We can definitely pass on." Senior Sister Bai, don't blame me for saying this, but what's the situation in the Divine Union now? I think everyone is well aware of it. The Dragon Palace won't let us off, so the Divine Union is finished. The one who spoke was a woman. She wore blue clothes, and her appearance was also delicate and beautiful. However, there was a cold glint in her eyes. She was called Bingyu. Another person in starry armor stepped forward. That's right. In my opinion, Boss Lin shouldn't have killed the Dragon Prince. This person was called 7 Star. What do you mean by that? Yuren stepped forward and shouted coldly. Nail and Liang and the others glared at him. 7 Star said, "Think about it. All of this happened after the death of the Dragon Emperor. If we had just defeated the Dragon Prince and spared his life, the Divine Union wouldn't have ended up like this. How dare you question Boss Lin?" Yuren and the others were trembling with anger. 7 Star said in a low voice, "Not only did Boss Lin offend the 10,000 Dragon Court, but he also offended the Golden Crow tribe, the Purple Mansion tribe, the Blue tribe, and the Dragon Sea tribe. These were all ancient families and peerless sections. Every one of them could sweep away an entire region. Now that he's dead, we're the ones who have to suffer." "Shut up." Bai Susu stepped forward and snorted. 7 Star, Bingyu, what do the two of you mean? Our intentions are clear. The current Divine Union is no longer the Divine Union of the past. We have no way of contending with the Dragon Palace. There are only 2 paths left. 1, disband the Divine Union. 2, bow down to the Dragon Palace and beg for mercy. That's impossible, Yuren shouted angrily. What was the Dragon Palace? We will never bow down and beg for mercy. We can only disband then. Seven Star sneered. Bai Susu said that it was impossible to disband. She had promised Lin Xian that the divine union had to be maintained. Bingyu sneered. Senior Sister Bai, your father is an elder of the Tao sect. Your life is not in danger. But we are different. We don't dare to go against Dragon Palace anymore. Otherwise, we will all die. The other members of the Divine Union also started to discuss this. Bai Susu's complexion turned awful. He knew that the morale of the people had plummeted ever since news of Lin Xian's death had spread. Coupled with Bing Yu and Seven Stars' instigation, the Divine Union would find it hard to maintain itself. The Divine Union would not disperse, nor would it lower its head to anyone else. At this moment, a voice rang out. Everyone was stunned. Seven Star also said, the third path was for everyone to die without a doubt. Did he want everyone in the Divine Union to die along with him? Bai Susu was stunned. This voice sounded familiar. Who could it be? He looked in all directions. In the next moment, she discovered that the outside of the array was flickering. Someone was there. She rushed out and saw a figure standing outside. It was a man in a black robe. Who are you? She was extremely nervous. Lin Xian took off his cloak and said, It's me. Bai Susu froze as if he had been struck by lightning. Her eyes turned red in disbelief. It was like a dream. Behind her, the members of the Divine Union were stunned. What was going on? Why was Senior Sister Bai standing there in a daze? Damn it, could it be that the people of Dragon Palace had come to fight? Damn it, let's fight it out with them. Nalan Liang and Yuren also rushed over. When they arrived at the entrance, they were also stunned, and their bodies started to tremble. The members of the three gods frowned when they saw this. Could the enemies from Dragon Palace be so strong that Senior Sister Bai and the other two were unable to resist? Bingyu said coldly, Did you see that? We are no match for Dragon Palace right now. Therefore, we will admit defeat immediately when the experts from Dragon Palace arrive. If you want to die, you can continue attacking. In any case, I won't do that. The others were in an uproar when they heard this. It looked like that was the only way. On the other side, Seven Stars smiled. Don't worry, we are all geniuses. Even if the Divine Union is gone, we can still form other factions and continue to survive. We can even carry forward and ascend to the next level. Then he clenched his fists. He could already imagine leaving the Divine Union and forming the Seven Star Pavilion. The people behind were discussing. Seven Star and Bing, you had already made up their minds. However, the eyes of Bai Susu and the other two were red. They weren't dreaming, right? Is it really you? The three of them were stunned. Lin Xian smiled. Of course, it's me. Why, are you blocking the entrance and not letting me in? How dare you? Boss, hurry up and invite me in. Yuren and the others smiled and made way. Lin Xian walked in with the three of them following closely behind. The people from Dragon Palace had arrived. The people inside were nervous. Bing Yu hurriedly walked forward. Seven Star continued to rope in people. In a while, he would bring a group of experts to form the Seven Star Pavilion. Don't worry, friends from Dragon Palace. We won't be enemies with you. We will lower our heads and admit defeat. Bing Yu walked forward with large strides. However, the smile on her face froze, and she stood there in a daze. A moment later, she was so frightened that she almost knelt on the ground. Are you a human or a ghost? She screamed. The surrounding people also stepped forward and exclaimed in surprise. No way. Were they dreaming? Had the other party returned? Seven Stars' back was facing everyone as he conversed with some experts. He promised extremely good conditions. As long as these people followed him to form the 7-star pavilion, he wouldn't treat them unfairly. These geniuses furrowed their brows tightly. The divine union had done them a favor, but this 7-star actually wanted to take away the divine union's resources and rope them in to form another faction. How despicable! Someone was about to retort when they suddenly heard a cry in front of them and looked up. A moment later, they were also startled. Then, joy appeared on their faces as they all rushed over. Damn it, I haven't finished speaking yet. Don't you want to cooperate with me? 7-star was furious. He snorted and turned to capture these people. However, when he saw the black-robed figure in front of him, he was stunned and took 3 steps back. She subconsciously took 3 steps back. Your ghost is back. He saw a familiar figure. Lin Xian. Lin Wuyi, the boss of the Divine Union. But how was that possible? Wasn't he already dead? How could he appear here? Could it be that the other party's soul had returned? At that thought, cold sweat broke out on his back. The other people were also bewildered. Was it really Boss Lin? Lin Xian looked around and said coldly, "Why, don't you recognize me?" As he spoke, the 9-yang divine physique released a terrifying divine fire. These people were shocked when they sensed the power of this body. The 9-yang divine physique was the most masculine and yang physique. That was Lin Xian's physique. The person in front of them was really their boss, Lin Wuyi. Chapter 52:03. Bingyu turned pale from fright and started crying. On the other side, 7-star also knelt on the ground in fright. How is this possible? Lin Fan didn't die. He was extremely afraid now. The two of them had originally planned to seize the Divine Union's resources and establish their own factions. They even wanted to rely on the Dragon Palace. The reason why they dared to do so was because Lin Xian was dead. However, Lin Fan had returned. Impossible! Didn't you get killed by an extreme-grade weapon? How can you return alive? No one can resist an extreme-grade weapon. 7-star roared crazily. Nalan Liang was instantly unhappy. 7-star, what is the meaning of this? Are you cursing Boss Lin? Don't you want Boss Lin to return? How would I dare? I'm too shocked. 7-star quickly shook his head. Who would dare to contend with Lin Xian? He didn't dare. Lin Fan could kill him with one slap. Bingyu also said in fright, Boss Lin, do the others know that you return alive? Lin Xian looked at the two and smiled. Don't worry, the entire buried Emperor Star will soon know. I will let my enemies know how to offend me. As long as they are my enemies, I will let them know regret and despair. Bingyu and 7-star's pupils constricted again. Go against Lin Xian? The Dragon Prince was dead. Could the two of them still be alive? Boss Lin, how did you dodge an extreme-grade weapons attack? Someone exclaimed. Yes, they were really too excited. Bai Susu and the others were curious as well. Lin Xian chuckled. So, what if it's an extreme-grade weapon? It won't be able to kill me. It was an accident that I was attacked by an extreme-grade weapon this time. It was the blazing dragon monarch of the 1,000 Dragons Court who informed us of our location. We also found out. Bai Susu gritted her teeth. The blazing dragon monarch had teleported back and was now being used by the 1,000 Dragons Court. It was said that he had gone to the outer realm to gather resources. Damn it, he was too strong. We were not his match. You run, and the others were also unwilling and clenched their fists. However, they raised their heads and said, now that Boss Lin is back, we can take revenge. However, Lin Xian smiled. There was no need. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Monarch was already dead. Dead? Everyone was shocked. Who did it? It was too satisfying. Bai Susu was shocked. Could it be that you were the one who did it? Lin Xian nodded. Indeed, it was the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord. I killed all the dragon experts who were with him. None of them managed to leave alive. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The The Scarlet Flame Dragon Overlord was a formidable expert among the saints. He was in the late stage of the Great Saint Realm and had terrifying strength. Beside him were a group of elders and experts from the Dragon Clan. These people were all killed by Lin Xian. Could it be that Lin Xian had used an extreme-grade weapon? In their opinion, only the heaven-devouring jar would be able to defeat those people. These people were shocked. Nalan Liang instantly ran over and said, "Boss Lin, please save my family." Their Nalan family was on the side of the Divine Union and had been suppressed badly. It was said that many elders had fallen. Lin Xian patted him on the shoulder. "Good brother, I have let your family suffer. Don't worry, I have already saved your Nalan family. Is your family all right?" She was overjoyed. A huge stone was lifted from her heart. "Thank you, Boss Lin." Lin Xian said, "You are welcome. This matter started because of me, so I naturally had to help. Not only the Nalan family, but the Duga family and the Fire Dragon clan were also saved by me. That was great." Bai Susu and the others were overjoyed. They could finally turn the tables. 10,000 Dragons Court, Dragon Palace, just wait. "Oh, right. How is the Divine Union?" Lin Xian asked. The moment he said that, Bai Susu looked at Bing Yu and Seven Star, her eyes flashing coldly. The others also made way. In an instant, an empty space was formed in front of them, leaving only the two of them. "Boss Lin, I was wrong. Please spare my life." Bing Yu immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. She knew that she couldn't hide what she had done from Bai Susu. Lin Xian would find out sooner or later. Seven Star looked up abruptly and gritted his teeth. "Boss Lin, although I was wrong, no one knew that I was alive. However, nobody knew that you were still alive. Everything I did was for the sake of the Divine Union." "Shut up," Bai Susu snorted. "For the Divine Union? You have the cheek to say that. Do you think I don't know what you did? You secretly stole the Divine Union's resources and formed your own force. Then you will establish your own force. You really have a good plan. Lin Xian, I have long disliked these two people. However, the Divine Union was in a precarious situation and was attacked from the front and back, so I couldn't do anything." Lin Xian said coldly as he looked at the two of them. Were these two the only ones taking action? Did they have any companions? "Yes." Yuren also clenched his teeth and pointed out a few people. There were more than a dozen companions of these people. Those people knelt on the ground. They begged for mercy. Lin Xian said, "When I established the Divine Union, I set the sect rules. I'm sure you all know the consequences of betrayers. Those people were terrified. A traitor would naturally die." Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and turned around, his back facing the crowd. He said coldly, "Since we are from the same sect, I will give you some dignity. Do it yourself." The front fell silent for a moment. Everyone looked at this scene with deep emotions and iciness. These traitors deserved this outcome. However, those people were still begging for mercy. Bing Yu looked up and said, "Boss Lin, I was wrong. I'll do it myself." After saying that, her soul split open and her body and soul were destroyed. Apart from that, the people following Bing Yu also took action and committed suicide. Seven Stars stood up and roared crazily, "Why should I do it myself? Who do you think you are? How dare you dictate my fate? Go." He waved his hand, and the people beside him also stood up. Emboldened, they followed him. This Seven Star was also considered a top genius. His strength was very powerful. His cultivation had already reached the mid-stage of the Great Sage. With such an expert in addition to them, even if they couldn't defeat Lin Xian, it shouldn't be a problem for them to leave safely. These people soared into the sky. Seven Stars' eyes flickered with cold light. "Lin Wudy, just you wait. Although he was defeated this time, he would seek refuge with the Dragon Palace and kill his way over. He wanted revenge. Boss Lin, Don't let him escape. The people of the Divine Union were very anxious. Lin Xian turned around and looked at the void. He shook his head and sighed. Stupid. If you were the same as Bingyu, I wouldn't pursue this matter. However, you actually acted so recklessly. Don't blame me. He reached out a large hand and grabbed at the sky. It instantly covered heaven and earth. Damn it! Seven Star roared, and his brothers attacked together. He snorted and unsheathed the long saber on his back. It was the Seven Star saber. The saber slashed down with a terrifying starlight that tore heaven and earth apart. The surrounding 10 figures also attacked at the same time. They resisted the flaming palm. Boom! The 9 suns' divine palm shattered everything, and the 7 Star saber instantly melted. The other superpowers also turned to ashes. Lin Xian's palm enveloped the dozen or so people. Chapter 5204. Damn it! How could this be? 7 Star and the others roared. They couldn't even block a single palm? I don't believe it. They still wanted to resist. The 9 sun divine palm closed and their bones shattered. They screamed. A moment later, they were suppressed by the palm. However, they didn't die. Damn it! Let us go! There are rules in the Tao. You can't attack us. These people roared. Bai Susu and the others frowned. There were indeed rules in the Tao. However, Lin Xian said coldly, I have rules too. The rules of the Divine Union. No one can break them. If you had acted obediently like Bingyu, I would have given you a quick death. However, you've been reincarnated for 10,000 years now. He activated his heaven's secret mystic ability, and these people entered the reincarnation realm. They would suffer 10,000 years of pain and die in despair. In the end, these dozen or so people fell. The surrounding people looked at this scene with terrified expressions. Soon, someone stood up and said, they deserved it. They betrayed the Divine Union and deserved this. Yes, that's right. Don't worry, Big Boss Lin. We won't tell anyone about this. The others quickly swore. Lin Xian said, don't worry. These people are just the beginning. Next, I'll let more people suffer my wrath. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. Bai Susu's heart was pounding. Are you thinking about it? That's right. The Dragon Palace would definitely die if they dared to attack the Divine Union. I won't let them off this time. Let's go. He turned and walked outside. Bai Susu was stunned. No way. You want to attack here? This is the Tao. There are rules in the Tao. The others were also stunned. Lin Xian said indifferently without turning back, don't worry, the Tao won't attack me. From the moment the Dragon Prince died, I was the Tao's hope. After saying that, he sped up. Bai Susu's eyes lit up. The others clenched their fists. Let's go and follow Big Boss Lin. Lin Xian was right. Previously, there were 2 young supremes in the Tao, both of whom had hopes of becoming great emperors. Therefore, the old ancestors of the Tao supported different people. However, the situation was different now. The Dragon Prince was dead, and only Lin Xian was left. If Lin Xian died, the Tao sect would suffer a great loss. After all, they had already offended the 10,000 Dragons dynasty because of Lin Xian. The 10,000 Dragon dynasty would not let Dao Zhong off. Therefore, the Tao sect had no choice but to fully support Lin Xian. In that case, Lin Xian would not show mercy to Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace. After the death of the Dragon Prince, the reputation of the Dragon Palace was much weaker than before, but it soon stabilized. Even without the Dragon Prince, the Dragon Palace had gathered countless masters of the Dragon Clan and a group of geniuses in the Tao. When these people gathered together, they were still the most powerful force in the Tao. Especially after the news of Lin Wudi's death had spread, the Divine Union had completely declined. The Dragon Palace was now constantly suppressing the Divine Union. Once they destroyed the Divine Union and seized their resources and geniuses, the Dragon Palace would be able to reach the top again. The person in charge of the Dragon Palace now was the Tyrant Dragon Clan. This person was called Ling Tian. At this moment, a group of people was gathered in a hall of the Dragon Palace. Ling Tian sat on the most important throne, and the people around him were all flattering him. I think the divine union will not last for more than 2 days. With Brother Ling Tian around, how could the divine union be a match for them? Just wait, they will definitely die in 3 days. Then the Dragon Palace will become stronger again. Brother Ling Tian will become the #1 genius in the Tao. Humph, that Lin Wudy was nothing. Didn't he die in the hands of the Dragon Clan? Laughter could be heard. Ling Tian said, "You can't say that. I am only the second genius in the Tao. The first genius is the Dragon Prince. Although he died first, he is still the first genius." Yes, the first genius is the Dragon Prince. The people around him nodded in agreement. Ling Tian's eyes lit up when he saw this. He said, "After this gathering, everyone will rest for a day before attacking the divine union. What about the Tao?" The geniuses around him were worried. Ling Tian smiled. "Don't worry, Lin Wudy is dead. The divine union has no backing. We still have the 1,000 Dragon Court behind us. How will the Tao choose? I think the old ancestors should understand." Yes, that's right. The geniuses around him laughed. Outside the Dragon Palace, the guards were also calm. They were not seriously defending. After all, no one dared to attack them at this moment. A group of people walked out from the front. This group of people was majestic and filled with killing intent. Who was it? The guards frowned. They looked over carefully and sneered when they realized that it was by Susu and the others. The divine union. Why couldn't they wait to die? Men, kill them all in one battle. The guards unsheathed their swords and were ready to send a message. However, a few sword lights slashed down from the void and killed them. Lin Xian followed the divine union like a demon. With his powerful attacks, these guards had no power to resist at all. "Let's go." After killing the guards, Bai Susu and the others tore apart the formation and charged right into the area. The divine union had also gathered a group of top experts and could be considered a top force. When these young geniuses attacked, their power was naturally terrifying. After entering, Bai Susu and the others attacked frantically. Now that they understood the situation, they would destroy the Dragon Palace completely and make it cease to exist. The people in the Dragon Palace were stunned. Who dared to attack them? Damn it. It's the divine union. Fight back. Inform Big Brother Ling Tian. Those people were shouting crazily. A figure retreated quickly and entered the hall. Young Master Ling Tian, this is bad. The door of the hall was knocked open in an instant. The top geniuses who were gathered inside stopped and looked over. Ling Tian's face darkened. Didn't I say that no one was to disturb me, no matter what happened? The guards of the Dragon Palace were terrified. Young Master Ling Tian was in trouble. Someone had charged in. What? Who was it? The people beside him frowned as well. The guards said that it was the divine union. Damn it. Ling Tian slammed the table and stood up. How dare they attack the divine union? Who was the leader? Was it Bai Susu? He dared to behave atrociously here just because his father was an elder. Today, he would be killed as well. The entire hall was filled with murderous intent. At this moment, a voice was heard. The leader was me. I'm standing right here. Try and kill me. Who was it? When they heard this voice, the geniuses in the hall were stunned. They quickly turned around. Ling Tian turned around abruptly and rolled out. His roar was earth-shattering. In the next moment, they saw the void crack open and a figure walk out. Who are you? How dare you behave atrociously here? A genius from the Dragon Palace pointed forward and shouted angrily. As soon as she finished shouting, she was stunned. The others also widened their eyes in disbelief. Chapter 52:05. What did they see? A person who was supposed to be dead had appeared in front of them. How was that possible? Weren't you already dead? A genius from the Dragon Palace roared, crazily. With a poochie sound, he was split apart by the sword. Lin Xian waved his arm and said coldly, "You're the one who died. Damn it, how dare you attack me?" Ling Tian shouted angrily, "Who do you think you are?" Lin Xian looked at him with disdain. "How dare you? This is the leader of the Dragon Palace, young Master Ling Tian." Another two people stood out and shouted coldly. However, Lin Xian slapped them, and their bodies spun in the air and turned into blood mist. "Ants, who gave you the right to talk?" The others were terrified. He was too powerful. Those who could gather in this hall were the top geniuses of the Dragon Palace. They were the top geniuses in the entire Dao. Every single one of them would be able to sweep through everything when they went out. Even ordinary older generation figures were no match for them. But now, two of them were killed by a slap from the other party. Of course, they also knew that Lin Xian was someone who could compete with the Emperor's son. His strength was far beyond their imagination. Ling Tian gritted his teeth. "Lin Wuti, you're not dead." He was really shocked. Even an extreme weapon couldn't kill him? Impossible. He shook his head frantically. It must be because Lin Wuti wasn't at the Sun Palace. Otherwise, how could he not die? Lin Xian looked at him and said coldly, "You're in charge of the Dragon Palace now." "That's right." Ling Tian sneered. "Get lost now. We can live in peace." Trash. The Dragon Prince is dead, and the Dragon Palace has declined. "How dare you talk to me like that?" Lin Xian slapped him. "How dare you?" Ling Tian roared. He could become the leader because he had his strength. This proved that his talent and strength were top-notch. Therefore, facing Lin Xian's slap, he fought back crazily. As a Tyrannosaurus, his physique and strength were very strong. In an instant, he slapped out and let out waves of dragon roars. There were even powerful lightning bolts on it that could pierce through everything. However, as soon as Lin Xian's palms collided, everything turned to ashes. What a terrifying Tyrannosaurus Rex! In the blink of an eye, it was torn into pieces. Ling Tian was also sent flying while vomiting blood, with half of his arm broken. "Roar! You dare to hurt me?" Ling Tian was sent flying. However, at that moment, a foot stomped him into the ground. The earth was torn apart. The palace collapsed as well. "You're really weak. You can't even withstand a single blow. You're not even comparable to that long AO from before. Damn it, let go of me. I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you dare to touch me, my family will not let you off." Boom. Lin Xian exerted force with his foot and crushed the opponent into pieces. Then he pointed out with his finger, and sword chi pierced through the other party's soul, nailing him to the ground. Lin Xian withdrew his palm and said coldly, "Even the Dragon Prince is not my match. How dare you threaten me?" Dead. The surrounding geniuses of Dragon Palace were terrified. Heavens, that was the leader of Dragon Palace, the top genius. However, he was so weak in the hands of the other party. The rest of them kept retreating. However, the people of Dragon Clan roared and attacked together to kill him. These people attacked crazily, but Lin Xian chopped them all into pieces with a single sword. The sword chi that filled the sky made these people unable to resist. After killing more than 30 geniuses of Dragon Clan with a single sword, Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. There were more than 20 young people left. They were also top geniuses, but they were not from Dragon Palace. They knelt on the ground in fear. "Spare us, Lin Gongzi, spare our lives. Your fate has been decided from the moment you cooperated with Dragon Palace. When you choose in your next life, don't choose the wrong path again." Lin Xian's eyes shone with a piercing cold light. The 9 suns' divine fire flew out of the peanut, and the illusion of the sun shrouded everything. These people screamed miserably as their souls were destroyed. The battle outside was still raging and was abnormally intense. However, Lin Xian walked out of the hall. He said loudly, "Ling Tian is dead." He waved his sleeves and the heads flew out. When the powerhouses of Dragon Palace who were still fighting saw this, their faces turned ugly. How could it be? Young Master Ling Tian and the other top experts are all dead? Damn it! How dare you attack? A burly man roared crazily. This is the Tao sect. How dare you attack the Geniuses of Path sect? As he spoke, he crushed the token in his hand. You're dead. Lin Xian sneered. Then what are you doing? Are you not violating the sect rules by attacking the Divine Union? Who dares to attack? At this moment, a cold voice was heard from the sky. Then, an old man descended from the sky. The remaining people of Dragon Palace rushed over and bowed. Elder, save us. They dared to kill the people of Dragon Palace. Young Master Ling Tian is dead. These people started crying. It was an elder of Dragon Palace. He was called Elder Jingyun and supported Dragon Palace. When he heard this, his eyes narrowed. Ling Tian is dead? What's going on? Who did it? Soon he stared at Bai Susu and the others below. Divine Union, how dare you break the rules? Kneel down obediently. Who do you think you are? Bai Susu was stunned. Why didn't you stand up when Dragon Palace attacked us previously? They broke the sect rules first. We were just retaliating. Elder Jingyun shouted angrily. Bai Susu said, Don't go overboard. Even though your father is an elder. So what? Breaking the sect rules. Even an elder has to die. Kneel down obediently. Otherwise, don't blame me for suppressing you. How arrogant. You can't differentiate between right and wrong. You don't deserve to be an elder. As Zhang Xian said those words, a golden palm descended from the sky. Elder Jingyun was furious. Who dared to attack? He threw out a punch. Soon he screamed and retreated. His palm was shattered. Who was it? He shouted angrily. However, the golden palm was too terrifying. It slapped him to the ground in an instant. He didn't even know who the enemy was, and he was knocked down. Damn Bai Susu. How dare you attack an elder? You're dead meat. Men. He called for help again. In the distance, another 3 elders joined forces and came over. How dare you? Divine Union, capture him quickly. Do you want to die? 3 angry roars were heard. Lin Xian snorted and attacked again. The huge palm swept across the sky and hit the 3 elders. The 3rd elder roared, You're courting death. After releasing Elder Jingyun, one of them formed a seal with his palm and turned it into a black dragon that descended from the sky. It swept across the sky. On the other side, the lady formed a seal and rain fell from the sky. It turned into a peerless killing aura that pierced through the 9 heavens. The last person even charged over, wanting to save Elder Jingyun. The attack of the 3 experts was extremely powerful. The people of Dragon Palace below were delighted. Let's see how you're going to die. The people of Divine Union sneered. They weren't the ones attacking this time. It was Boss Lin. Boss Lin could even dodge an extreme weapon, let alone the attacks of these elders. Let's see who's going to die. Chapter 5206. Facing the overwhelming attacks, Lin Xian was still fearless. The flames on his body blossomed with a terrifying radiance as his fists swept in all directions. Each of his punches carried an extremely strong force. The laws of the divine abilities that were close to him were all shattered. Not a single one was able to reach him. Not only that, but this energy also rushed forward and attacked the 3 great saints. Boom, boom. The 3 saints felt as though they were struck by lightning. Their chi and blood were in turmoil as they vomited large mouthfuls of blood. How is this possible? This force was too terrifying. Just one person was enough to make the 3 of them feel as though they were facing a great enemy. Damn it, The three of them took out their saint artifacts and frantically counterattacked. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm and slammed down with the devil god seal. On the other side, it was the Six Dao Fist. At the same time, an extremely terrifying reincarnation mountain burst out from his eyes. The three absolute arts attacked. These were all top-notch absolute arts. How could the three saints block them? In an instant, they were severely injured. Two of their bodies were shattered. One of them was torn into pieces and was then suppressed by Lin Xian with the 6 sons. The surrounding people were all stunned when they saw this scene, especially those from the Dragon Palace. They widened their eyes in disbelief. These were 3 great saints, and they were able to sweep through everything. However, they were easily defeated by Lin Xian. Had this guy's strength surpassed the saints? Damn it. You dare? Do it. Do you want to die? One of the middle-aged men roared crazily. As a result, Lin Xian stomped his face into mush. You still dare to be arrogant? Do you think I don't dare to kill you? Lin Xian's eyes burst out with extremely terrifying killing intent. He destroyed the other party's heart and soul. The power of the great dragon sword soul tore apart the other party's soul. The other party couldn't be revived. Dead. The eyes of the Dragon Palace's people nearly popped out. The others were so frightened that they knelt down. This was a Saint Monarch Realm Elder, and he was killed just like that. You dare? The other 3 elders were so frightened that their scalps went numb. They screamed crazily, "Ancestor, save us." The battle here naturally alarmed the entire Dao Center. Countless figures soared into the sky from the surroundings. Who dared to cause trouble here? Quite a few elders had arrived, and even some patriarchs from the core region of the Dao had rushed over. "It's me." Lin Xian coldly snorted in response to the angry shouts around him. The light on his body shot straight into the sky. "You are?" The surrounding elders wanted to continue hollering. However, when they saw Lin Xian, they were stunned. The next moment, someone exclaimed, "Lin Wudi, you're still alive. It can't be, right? I'm not dreaming, am I?" They were all crazy. At this moment, an old man appeared in the void. It was Fantasy World Ancestor. The others bowed respectfully. Fantasy World Ancestor looked down and frowned. Someone dared to behave atrociously in the Dao. When he saw that it was Lin Xian, he was also stunned, his eyelids twitching wildly. "You're not dead." He was truly shocked. "Ha ha!" Another figure appeared in the distance. It was Old Ancestor Barbarian God. After he arrived, he threw his head back and laughed heartily. "Lin Xian, you really are still alive. I didn't misjudge you. Even an extreme Dao weapon couldn't kill you. In the future, you will definitely become a great emperor." They were really happy. "Old Ancestor, save us." The 3 elders were suppressed, and they cried out miserably. The people from Dragon Palace also knelt on the ground. "Old Ancestor, please uphold justice for us." "Lin Wudi, why did you attack? Don't you know that killing one another is not allowed in the Dao?" An elder stood out and shouted coldly. These people were all supporters of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Lin Xian looked at him and sneered. "You also know that killing one another is not allowed in the Dao. Then, where were you when Dragon Palace was fighting the Divine Union? Why didn't you uphold justice?" "I didn't see it." That elder gritted his teeth. "Didn't see it?" Lin Xian's eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. His reincarnation power shone brightly. He directly charged forward. The Grand Elder screamed. His eyes were bleeding, and he was in a miserable state. "My eyes! Damn it! How dare you destroy my eyes?" The elder roared crazily. He couldn't see anything. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and said coldly, "You didn't see it either. Scram. If you meddle in this matter, I'll destroy your soul." The surrounding people were extremely shocked. Even the elders felt their scalps go numb. What kind of method was this? He could beat an elder with a raise of his hand. The savage wilderness ancestor was shocked. Lin Xian, did you break through? He looked carefully and realized that Lin Xian's cultivation was still at the early stage of the great sage realm. He didn't break through, but he actually had the combat power of a great sage. He was indeed a top genius. However, the elders who supported Dragon Palace looked extremely gloomy. They naturally didn't dare to say anything to Lin Xian. Instead, they all looked at the fantasy world ancestor. Asking the ancestor to take action, this kid was too arrogant. He didn't care about the rules of the Tao at all. Lin Xian, do you know your crime? The fantasy world ancestor said coldly. However, before he could finish, Lin Xian said loudly, the Dragon Prince is dead, but I'm still alive. Hearing this, the ancestor was speechless. The surrounding elders' eyes flickered. That's right. The Dragon Prince was a top genius, but he was already dead. A dead genius was nothing. Lin Xian was still alive. Lin Xian's talent was probably even more terrifying than the Dragon Prince's. He had a higher chance of becoming a great emperor in the future. Were they going to punish such a person now? Were they going to lose another young supreme being? At that moment, Bai Susu's father, Elder Bai, walked out and said, Extreme fantasy world ancestor, when you were in seclusion, the Dragon Palace had been secretly attacking the sacred spirits and even killed many geniuses. However, some elders secretly protected them and deceived the ancestor. Now that Lin Xian has returned and led the divine union to attack the Dragon Palace, it's understandable. We hope the ancestor will show mercy. That's right, we hope the ancestor will show mercy. The surrounding elders all spoke up. The barbarian god ancestor also looked at the fantasy world ancestor and said, Old friend, you were wrong once. Are you going to make the wrong choice again? In our Tao, the path of the future lies in a single thought of yours. The savage wilderness ancestor was on Lin Xian's side. Previously, the fantasy world ancestor had supported the Dragon Prince. Now that the Dragon Prince was dead, there was a chance. Would the other party support Lin Xian or the Thousand Dragon Court? Everyone was waiting for the fantasy world ancestor. The fantasy world ancestor's eyes flickered, and then he sighed. The Dragon Palace was in the wrong. Therefore, he wouldn't pursue the matter this time. Then he looked at Lin Xian and said, You just came back and have a good rest. The Tao sect will do its best to nurture you. With that, he turned and disappeared. The people of the Tao exclaimed. The people of the Dragon Palace were in despair. The elders who supported the Dragon Palace also felt their scalps go numb. This meant that the fantasy world ancestor had given up on the Thousand Dragon Court and was supporting Lin Xian. It wasn't just the fantasy world ancestor. The other patriarchs would probably support Lin Xian as well. When the time came, the entire Tao would cultivate Lin Xian. The experts and geniuses of the Thousand Dragon Court would be finished. Chapter 5207. Thank you, old ancestor. Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled at the void. Old ancestor barbarian god smiled and nodded. Little guy, we won't interfere in this matter. You have to seize the opportunity. With that, he walked away. Lin Xian was stunned. Then he smiled. The people around him didn't understand what he meant. Lin Xian said, This matter wasn't over yet. The battle wasn't over. Everyone only had one chance. Bai Susu and the rest smiled and looked at the people from the Thousand Dragon Court. Attack. These people attacked quickly. No, the people from the Dragon Palace screamed, Old Zhang, save us. However, the elders who supported the Dragon Palace felt their scalps go numb. Some of them lowered their heads and admitted defeat. Some of them were originally from the Dragon Tribe and were killed by the other elders. In the end, the people from the Dragon Palace were all killed. From then on, there was no Dragon Palace in the Tao sect. The other genius disciples gasped at the sight of this. They looked at Lin Xian in awe. From now on, Lin Xian and the divine union were existences that they couldn't afford to offend. The Dragon Palace had many treasures. Take them back and don't waste them, Lin Xian said. By Susu, and the rest moved quickly. They were very happy. Now, the Dao sect was completely on Lin Xian's side. In fact, they had no choice. Lin Xian and the Thousand Dragon Court were mortal enemies. They could only choose one. Since they chose Lin Xian, they would be enemies with the Thousand Dragon Court. The Thousand Dragon Court wouldn't let the Dao sect go. Therefore, the Dao sect wouldn't hold back either. This matter spread across the entire Dao sect. Not only that, but it also swept towards the Holy Abyss ancient city. In an instant, everyone in the ancient city knew that the Dragon Palace had been destroyed. Who did it? Who dared to attack the Dragon Palace at this time? Was there no one in the Dao sect who would care? Countless exclamations were heard. They all went to investigate. However, an even bigger piece of news came. Lin Wudy was back. When everyone heard the news, they were all stunned. They couldn't react for a moment. Then, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Wudy was back? How was this possible? Wasn't he already dead? That's right, he had already died a few years ago, killed by an extreme weapon. How could he possibly come back? This news not only spread throughout the entire wholly distant ancient city, it also spread towards the distant light continent and even the entire buried Emperor star. Everyone went crazy. Lin Wudy was not dead. He had returned. What kind of joke was this? He would have been killed by an extreme weapon long ago. This was impossible. The remote antiquity families, the mining world sects, and even the monarch races went crazy. Hurry up and investigate. These people are warring crazily. If Lin Wudy was still alive, it would be an earth-shattering event. The Demon Emperor Mountain also received the news in an instant, and the monkey laughed heartily at the sky. Did you hear that? Brother Lin didn't die. The black dragon, God Dragon, also rushed out in an instant. Damn. I knew this kid wouldn't die. Great. Yan Ryu smiled. Murong Qingcheng was even more excited. Brother Xian was fine. I have to hurry. He can't wait any longer. Let's go together. These people set off towards the middle of the road, and the experts from the other great clans all gathered at the saintly origin city. They wanted to investigate whether or not Lin Xian was dead. On the other side, the Blue Race, Long Hai Golden Crow Race, Zifu, and the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were all stunned when they heard the news. Lin Wudy wasn't dead? Impossible! They shook their heads crazily, and then asked one after another. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty laughed coldly. Scoff, this must be a scheme. I think Murong Qingcheng, Emperor Qing's successor, and the others worked together to release the news. Then, they set up an extreme weapon trap in Saintly Origin City. When we enter, they will go all out and use their extreme weapons to kill us. We can see through such a trap right away. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty didn't believe it. Long Hai Golden Crow and the others laughed. Right, this was a trap. Scoff, you want to kill us? Wait for another 10,000 years. These people didn't believe it. The others couldn't sit still anymore, and all came forward. Murong Qingcheng and the others rushed over. In the middle of the road, Yi Wudao came too. They looked at the familiar figure in front of them and laughed emotionally. You really didn't die. Lin Xian smiled. I made you all worry. The group of people gathered together and were very happy. The Crimson Dragon said, Kid, tell me what happened. Lin Xian recounted what had happened to these people in detail. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. You actually ate the Great Emperor's pill? Damn, kid, what happened to your body? It's the purple sun divine fire. Yi Wudao was shocked. Monkey and the others were shocked too. Murong Qingcheng smiled and said, It's good that you're fine. She was most worried about Lin Xian's safety. Kid, here's the heaven-swallowing jar. The Crimson Dragon returned the heaven-swallowing jar to Lin Xian. The Black Sea Dragon race has already gone to Monster Emperor Mountain. There are extreme weapons there. There are a lot of people investigating right now. Should we hide for the time being? Yan Ruyu asked. After all, once the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty knew that Lin Xian was still alive, they would probably go crazy and attack him. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. Inform our allies and the Dao sect to prepare with all their might. Also bring the extreme weapons and prepare to fully activate them at any time. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He knew from Morong Qingcheng that the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had two allies now, the Gu family and the Z Mansion. At the same time, they provided two extreme weapons, so he couldn't be careless. As for the Z Mansion, Lin Xian knew that they had a grudge against him and would definitely attack. But the Gu family surprised him. Lin Xian had a good relationship with the Gu family, but he didn't expect them to stand on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's side in the end. Since they were enemies, Lin Xian wouldn't hold back. Yan Ruyu, Morong Qingcheng, and the others hurriedly informed the factions behind them to prepare. Bai Susu hurriedly informed her father, so that Dao Zhong could make the necessary preparations. Lin Xian stood up. Before the news is confirmed, I have to attack again. Blue Race, Longhai, Golden Crow, I won't let them off. Let's attack as well. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad also walked out. On the other side, the monkey also stood out. Even Leaf Dowdenier said that he could participate in this battle. They wouldn't participate in the battle for the extreme weapons, but Leaf Dowdenier wasn't afraid of the other ancient families. There's also us. Soul Sage Monarch also came. As a top assassin, this was the best time for him to attack. Not only that, but he also brought all of his subordinates. This was a group of extremely terrifying killing sages. Once this power was released, it would definitely cause heaven and earth to tremble. Good. Lin Xian's eyes shone brightly. Then he summoned Little White and said, "Follow Rizalong and the others." There weren't many people attacking, but they were all top experts. Once they attacked, they would kill in one strike. The operation only had half a month's time. Lin Xian and the others instantly disappeared. At the same time, a storm swept through the buried Emperor's Star. Chapter 5208. Everyone came to Holy Abyss Ancient City to investigate Lin Wudi's situation. Lin Xian and the others had already begun to move. Holy Abyss Ancient City, White Crane Tower. This place was very famous, and countless people gathered here to gather information. A few figures sat at a wine table by the window. One of the geniuses from the Blue Clan sneered. Lin Wudi is still alive. Stop dreaming. He will never appear again in this life. This is a trap. They are still far from being able to plot against us. Hearing this, the others were also surprised. Was it true? Perhaps this was really a trap set up by Morong Qingcheng and the others, because until now they had not found out if Lin Xian was still alive. Suddenly, a sword light flashed in the sky, and the genius from the Blue Clan who had spoken was instantly cut in half. His body and soul were destroyed. Who was it? The others exclaimed in shock. This young man from the Blue Clan was a very top genius, but now he was killed by a sword. Who was the enemy? They had no idea. Dragon Sea. It was a very terrifying sea area. If one wanted to pass through it quickly, they had to take a dragon boat. The dragon boat was controlled by the Dragon Sea clan. At this moment, on a dragon boat, it carried countless powerhouses and geniuses. Those who could board the dragon boat were not ordinary people. At this moment, countless people were alarmed because the owner of the dragon boat had arrived. He was an elder of the Dragon Sea clan. His strength had reached the level of a sacred master. After he arrived, the surrounding people bowed and greeted him. The owner of the Saint ship said with a smile, "We should be able to arrive in 5 days. Everyone, just wait patiently." The surrounding people said that it was only natural. Who would dare to attack the dragon boat in the Dragon Sea? 5 days, we are not in a hurry. That was because the Dragon Clan was like a god in the Dragon Sea. Who would dare to attack them? The surrounding people laughed out loud. At this moment, the void shattered, and flames descended, enveloping the Saint Elder. In the next moment, a miserable cry was heard. Everyone was shocked. They discovered that the owner of the Saint's ship had been destroyed. He was dead. The surrounding people were so frightened that they knelt on the ground, their faces pale. Who was it? They were too shocked. Previously, they were still saying that the Dragon Sea clan was a godlike existence in this place. But in the blink of an eye, an elder of the Dragon Sea clan was killed. It was a slap to everyone's face. Buried Emperor Star, Outer Realm. Now, another sun had appeared in the dark universe. The previous sun had been destroyed. Thus, the clans and sects of the buried Emperor Star joined hands to search for another sun. He even brought it over. The buried Emperor Star couldn't be without a sun. When the new sun appeared, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, an expert from the Golden Crow race snorted coldly. If it weren't for our Golden Crow race, there wouldn't be a second sun on the buried Emperor Star. That's right. Our Golden Crow clan has put in so much effort. Aren't you going to express it? The surrounding people expressed their thanks to the Golden Crow clan, for that matter. Many people even began to send congratulatory gifts. However, at this moment, the void cracked open and an extremely terrifying attack descended, directly enveloping the people of the Golden Crow tribe. Who was it? The powerhouses of the Golden Crow tribe roared angrily and counterattacked. However, this attack was really too strong. In an instant, they were beaten into a bloody mist. Even his soul had been destroyed. The others were terrified, as if they were facing a great enemy. However, after waiting for half a day, they discovered that the enemy had already disappeared, dead. The powerhouses of the Golden Crow race had all fallen. 1 hit, 1 kill. Who was it that had attacked? They were terrified. The successor of the Purple Mansion sect in Taiching Ancient City. He held a martial arts conference. Countless young geniuses gathered. The successor of the Purple Mansion sect fanned himself like an immortal, causing countless people to look up to him. However, at this moment, the void cracked open, and a dagger chopped off his head. The corpse fell. Countless people were terrified. This news spread in all directions in an instant. When the others heard this, they were also shocked. Heavens, someone actually dared to attack these sects and families. They realized the powerhouses that had fallen outside were all allies of the 10,000 Dragon Court. Could it be that someone wanted to attack the 10,000 Dragon Court? Who was it? Was it the Divine Union? Could it be that Lin Wudi was still alive? Or could it be that this was a trap all along? Countless crazy discussions spread. The 10,000 Dragon Court was also furious when they heard this. As for their allies, the Purple Mansion sect, the Golden Crow race, the Blue race, and the other sects and families suffered heavy losses. Their geniuses outside had fallen one after another, causing their hearts to bleed. Come back quickly. They did not dare to be careless and hurriedly called back those outside. In an instant, they were facing a great enemy. When the allies of the Divine Union heard this news, they raised their arms and cheered. Great. They deserved it. Kill them all and leave nothing behind. These people roared. They had also received the news of the Divine Dragon and secretly gathered their forces. In the Tao, the Divine Union, Lin Xian, Monkey, and the others had all returned. Then they all laughed heartily. In the past half a month, they had quickly attacked and killed many geniuses. It was enough to make their hearts ache. Next was the most important moment. Lin Xian knew that there would be an earth-shattering storm. However, he was not afraid. Morong Qingchen, Yen Ruyu, and the others had also returned. They had already gathered a lot of resources. The True Path sect had also finished their preparations. Even the other allies had also sent news. Lin Xian knew that it was time to start. Thus, he took the initiative to walk out of the Tao. Countless powerhouses had gathered in the sacred origin ancient city. They were all investigating. However, the Tao had an ancient heritage, so no one dared to act rashly. Just as they were thinking of a solution, someone suddenly exclaimed, "Look, someone from the True Path sect has come out." They realized that a few people from the True Path sect had walked out. The one at the front was actually Lin Xian. How could this be? It was really him. He was still alive. Could it be? I'm not dreaming. Am I? An illusion. This must be an illusion. Exclamations rang out one after another. They were simply unable to believe it. When he heard these exclamations, the corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. He strolled outside leisurely. He even used his fists and legs in the open space. The light of the divine Nine-Yang body shone brightly. Everyone was stunned. This was the divine Nine-Yang body. Heavens, it was really Lin Wudi. Only he had the divine Nine-Yang body. He was still alive. Quick, spread the news to the family. The people who had come to investigate were all crazy. Soon, the news was spread back. After the clan of the ancients, the peerless sects, and the monarch clans received the news, they were all dumbfounded. He was really not dead. Now that the array formation was sent back, they saw the light of Lin Xian's divine Nine-Yang body on the array formation. They also gasped. It was really him. He was not dead. How could it be? How did he survive? The Qilin sun roared crazily. Even an extreme weapon could not kill him? How terrifying was that? The Qilin clan said, "Your Highness, don't be anxious." Perhaps Lin Wudi was not in the Sun Palace at all. Yes, that must be it. He was definitely not in the Sun Palace. Otherwise, how could he still be alive? No one could use their own strength to block an extreme weapon. Chapter 5209. If Lin Xian survived with the heaven-swallowing jar, they could understand. But the heaven-swallowing jar wasn't in Lin Xian's hands at that time. If Lin Xian fully recovered, the Dragon Sword Soul might be able to escape. But they didn't feel the power of the Dragon Sword Soul back then. This meant that Lin Xian didn't use anything at all, but he survived. They had to find a reason. Thinking about it, only Lin Xian wasn't in the Sun Palace could make them feel at ease. This kid is really lucky. Qilin snorted. But why did he come out at this time? Is he challenging the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? Humph, does the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty know the news? Hurry up and send it to him. I want the two of them to fight. They want to fight to the death. Kunpengzi also received the news. He didn't die. He was also shocked. The Phoenix race was the same. The Tianpeng race, the Twin of Destiny race, and the others also investigated. Their final conclusion was that Lin Xian shouldn't be in the Sun God Palace. The Blue race, Golden Crow race, and Purple Mansion race were even more shocked. Their peerless enemy was actually still alive. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared crazily. What was going on? Previously, they were confident that Lin Xian would definitely die. But now, Lin Xian had come to Sacred Source Ancient City alive, and everyone in the world had seen him. Wasn't this a slap to their faces? More importantly, the Dragon Prince hadn't been avenged at all. How did he survive? 2 attacks from an extreme weapon couldn't kill him? Was he immortal? The Dragon Race's ancestor roared. The others were facing a great enemy. Someone said that maybe the news was wrong. Lin Wudi wasn't in the Sun Palace at all. Yes, that must be it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to block it. Damn it, where's the Red Flame Dragon God? Tell him to get over here. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's ancestor roared. However, another elder said, "Ancestor Lu, calm down. The Red Flame Dragon God is already dead." Is he dead? Damn it, what should the ancestor do now? Everyone was waiting. A few old ancestors of the dragon clan walked out and shouted coldly, "Kill! Kill Lin Wudi!" This time, they wanted to see his corpse. They wanted to see him die with their own eyes, use extreme weapons, and gather our forces. At the same time, inform all dragons to give us their resources. As for the other allies, they were also told to go all out. This time, he wasn't just going to kill Lin Wudi. He was also going to kill the Divine Union. If he succeeded, the resources of the Divine Union alone would be enough to make up for the losses. The Divine Union was no longer just a small force in the Tao, but an alliance. This included countless remote antiquity families and peerless sections. His strength was astonishing. As such, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty did not dare to be careless. However, they were extremely confident. Once the news was passed down, the Dragon Clan quickly took action. Their allies also began to gather their strength. There was no other way. If Lin Wudi didn't die, they would die. Therefore, this time, they would not hold back. As for those in the Purple Mansion, when they received the news, their eyes also shone with a cold light. Damn it, he was actually still alive. The leader of the Purple Mansion asked a few old monsters of the Purple Mansion for a discussion. Then, they decided to go all out. Lin Xian was someone from the immortal graveyard. They wouldn't allow him to live. Furthermore, he had the heavenly court behind him. They were also their sworn enemies. This time, the heavenly court's people will come as well. Then, they could settle their grudges. Wind and clouds gathered in the Holy Origin ancient city. In an instant, the ancient city was covered by dark clouds. The atmosphere was extremely oppressive. Retreat quickly. Countless people retreated to the edge of the ancient city. They knew that there would be a huge battle. It might even be an extreme battle. They retreated into the distance, but no one left. Boom. On this day, the wind and clouds rumbled. Countless figures came to the 9 heavens. They brought with them powerful strength and bloodline, suppressing heaven and earth. The entire Holy Origin ancient city shook violently. Everyone in the ancient city felt their blood boil. They were pressed to the ground. Heavens, what a terrifying aura! Countless experts from the Dragon Clan had arrived. They were from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. In the sky, the 3 ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty led the way. Behind them were countless experts from the Dragon Clan. They were filled with killing intent. They stood in the clouds and looked down. "Lin Wudi, come out and die!" A cold shout rang out, shaking the surroundings. The Tao sect shook violently. Countless Tao sect disciples looked up at the sky, their faces pale. Was it finally here? The elders in the Tao sect also looked extremely solemn. Lin Xian and the others looked at those scenes. Their eyes flashed. They were finally here. "Everyone, prepare yourselves." Lin Xian said a few words and then walked outside. He came to the square of Tao sect, looked up, and laughed coldly. "Why, are you all here to die? If you miss the Dragon Prince, I can send you to hell to reunite with him." A calm voice rang out and spread clearly in all directions. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. He was infuriating the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty in the sky hollered in rage. They were asking to die. Numerous dragon auras descended from the sky and tore the space apart. However, the formation in the Tao sect flashed and blocked everything. There was a loud explosion. The Tao sect's elders also stepped forward. Elder White hollered in rage. 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, don't be too much. Are you attacking our Tao sect? So what if you are? Today, if your Tao sect dared to protect Lin Xian, you would all die. A cold voice spread from the sky. One of the ancestors from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty hollered in rage. "Just an ant. You dare to be arrogant in front of me?" His eyes flashed and turned into laws that charged downwards. Elder White felt like he was struck by lightning. At this time, a fist smashed over, shattering the void, protecting Elder Bai. The savage wilderness ancestor appeared and shouted coldly, "Old thing from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, if you want to die, I will fulfill your wish." On the other side, the fantasy world ancestor also appeared. The stars in his eyes disappeared. 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Stop. The Dragon Prince is already dead. Do you want more people to die? You also came out. This means that your Tao sect is completely on this kid's side. Since that is the case, there is no need for the Tao sect to exist. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's ancestor hollered. Above their heads, the 10,000 dragon picture appeared and swept across the sky. Everyone was on guard. The Tao sect also shook violently. The formation was activated, and the legendary saint weapon appeared, but it was still unable to block it. At this moment, Lin Xian waved his hand, and the heaven-swallowing jar appeared. It formed a terrifying vortex and blocked the power of the 10,000 dragon picture. He said coldly, "It's useless. In terms of extreme weapons, our side isn't bad either. Today, I want to see how you are going to kill me." Lin Xian's voice was sonorous. The surrounding people also retreated to the distance to watch. They had already left the Saint Origin City. They watched through the formation. In fact, countless families and sects on the buried Emperor Star were using formations. They were all paying attention to this battle. The outcome of this battle might very well decide the future of the buried Emperor Star. Could Lin Xian survive the wrath of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? No one knew. In fact, they didn't think highly of Lin Xian. Chapter 52:10. So, what if it was an extreme weapon? Let's compare our foundations and see who can use more power. The 1,000 Dragon Court's ancestor waved his hand, and countless clans and sects appeared behind him. The Blue Clan, the Dragon Sea Clan, the Thunder Dragon Clan, and the Cloud Dragon Clan covered the sky. Everyone was shocked. This power alone was enough to sweep everything away. Comparing foundations? Lin Xian sneered. "I'm not afraid of you." He waved his hand, and a ray of sunlight shot into the sky. The Black Sea Dragon Clan appeared. The Nalan Clan, the Duga Clan, the Fire Dragon Clan, the Longevity Hall, the Pill Cauldron Pavilion, and the Fire God Palace. At the same time, countless clans and sects appeared and confronted them. The auras of the two sides caused endless cracks and abysses to appear in the sky. It was too terrifying. Everyone was terrified. Had Lin Xian grown to such a level? The divine union was terrifying. At this moment, there was a roar in the distance. Endless light gathered. Half of it was holy, and the other half was dark. Everyone was terrified. It was the Destiny Twins. They had also come. That's right, the Destiny Twins had come. These experts were standing on the side of the 1,000 Dragon Court. They stared below. "Kid, you're definitely going to die today." The Twins of Destiny were also Lin Xian's sworn enemies. On the Divine Union's side, the Demon Emperor Mountain had also arrived. Countless great demons covered the sky, and demonic aura filled the air. There were also some figures among them. They were people with domains. These people stared at the 1,000 Dragon Court. Their eyes were fiery red as they gritted their teeth. 1,000 Dragon Court, how dare you destroy domains? I'll destroy your astral souls. So it's people from the spirit realm. The experts of the 1,000 Dragon Court sneered. Are you all not dead yet? If that's the case, I don't mind sending you to hell. They were not afraid of the spirit realm. This made the people of the spirit realm gnash their teeth. Lin Xian stared at the Destiny Twins. The Destiny Twins sneered. Why, are you here to give me a statue again? Did you bring the statue of the Destiny Ancestor? If you did, I'll swallow it whole. Ah, damn kid, you dare to challenge us? We'll kill you. The twin of Destiny Clan was also roaring crazily. Both sides were exchanging blows back and forth. No one was at a disadvantage. They were evenly matched. Countless people were shocked, although they had yet to make a move. The strength and foundation displayed by both sides were truly too powerful, even if the twins of destiny had a reason to take revenge. So, did Lin Xian. Wasn't the destruction of Spirit Realm the best reason? Therefore, it was really hard to determine the victor. Cut the crap and die. The experts of the Twin of Destiny clan instantly rushed over. They charged towards Lin Xian. On the side of the Demon Emperor Mountain, it was the 10,000 Dragon Court that was charging towards them. Was he courting death? Attack! The old ancestor of the 10,000-man dynasty roared. Lin Xian also waved his hand, and the battle instantly broke out. How many experts from the various clans had gathered together? They directly charged towards the Nine Heavens. The Dao sect also attacked. They were fighting on their home ground. They activated a powerful array that swept through everything. In an instant, hundreds of figures shattered in the sky and turned into a bloody mist. Some were from the 1,000 Dragon Court, while others were from the Divine Union. A great battle erupted. It was extremely terrifying. The experts of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty moved out, and the old ancestors also attacked. They fought with the old ancestors of Desolation and Huanshe. Lin Xian attacked even more powerfully. He had the Great Obliteration in his left hand and the Hell Sword in his right. Yin Yang Image, Nine Yang Divine Body, and various ultimate techniques emerged one after another. The people of the Twin of Destiny clan were instantly sent flying. At the same time, Lin Xian charged forward, as if there was no one there. Sweeping the world, the entire buried Emperor Star was shocked when they saw this scene. Their scalps went numb. Heavens, this was too terrifying. If this continued, the ancient city would probably be destroyed. The divine generals of the Holy Abyss Tower arrived, one after another. The Heaven Sect and the Earth Sect attacked. Everyone, let's fight above the Nine Heavens. They couldn't fight in the Holy Abyss ancient city. Otherwise, this ancient city wouldn't be able to withstand it. Boom. These people charged towards the Nine Heavens, causing the entire sky to shatter. They even charged towards the outer realm. The battle was extremely shocking. At this moment, the old ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Court roared, and the 10,000 dragons in the sky roared. They emitted an extreme aura as they descended from the sky. Many people were instantly sent flying. Not good. The people of the Divine Union exclaimed. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the heaven-devouring jar appeared. It created thousands of vortexes that appeared above everyone's heads to protect them. Both sides retreated. A sea of blood floated between heaven and earth. Everyone's eyes were red, and killing intent surged from their bodies. In just an instant, many experts and geniuses had fallen. The battle was extremely tragic. Both sides retreated. Two extreme weapons faced each other. At this moment, a cold laugh rang out. In the void, an ancient mirror floated up and down. The people of the Gu family had arrived. They held the extreme weapon, the void mirror, and arrived beside the 10,000 dragon diagram. The heaven-devouring jar was instantly suppressed. Everyone also kept retreating. However, at this moment, the desolate tower flew out from the Dao sect below. It blocked the void mirror. On the other side, the image of a dragon appeared, roaring in all directions. The people of the Purple Mansion also appeared with the dragon pattern cauldron. Boom! Green lotuses bloomed between heaven and earth. Yen Ruyu's extreme weapon blocked the power of the dragon pattern cauldron. 6 extreme weapons floated between heaven and earth. Everyone's scalps went numb. Was the battle of extreme Dao really about to begin? The extreme weapons erupted with power and fought with each other. Everyone retreated into the distance. No one could fight against them. the entire buried Emperor star was watching nervously. It hadn't fully recovered yet, but the 6 extreme weapons had already shattered the endless void. All the space in the entire Alcade continent had shattered. In fact, many spatial cracks could be seen in other places. If the 6 weapons fully recovered, the buried Emperor star would also be shattered. The people of the Purple Mansion snorted coldly. Lin Woody, you're from the immortal graveyard. It's already heaven-defying that you're still alive. There's no need for you to continue living. Die. Killing intent surrounded them. On the other side, the void shattered and a terrifying illusion appeared in the sky. A black-robed man appeared in the sky with many experts. Their expressions were cold. Was the Purple Mansion very arrogant? Did they ask the heavenly court if they dared to touch Lin Xian? A cold voice sounded. Countless people were in an uproar. Were the people of the heavenly court here too? What an ancient sect! There were also mysterious figures on the Purple Mansion's side. We knew you were coming and were waiting for you. The Purple Mansion looked at the 10,000 Dragon Court and said, "Restrain the extreme weapons. Without the extreme weapons, they're no match for us." The ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Court nodded and formed hand seals. The 10,000 dragon diagram shone brightly. At the same time, the Void Mirror and Long Wending did the same. They attacked aggressively, restraining the 3 extreme weapons of the Divine Union. In the next moment, they sneered. The extreme weapons fully recovered. They couldn't resist the combined attacks of the 6 extreme weapons. Therefore, they had to restrain the extreme weapons. Then, they would use their own trump cards to kill each other. Without the extreme weapons, Lin Xian was nothing. One of the ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Court slashed his dragon claw at Lin Xian. Chapter 5211. Lin Xian's pupils shrank when he felt this attack. But at this moment, Grandmaster Wildlands rushed over and punched out, blocking the dragon claw. "If you want to fight, I'll keep you company. Anyone who stops me will die." One of the dragon race's patriarchs also roared. The two fought together. The sky fell and the earth cracked. The battle between the 2 great sage peak was really terrifying. The others also retreated. However, another attack came at that moment. A palm strike was extremely vast. Another patriarch of the dragon tribe made his move. The Black Sea Dragon Race patriarch also charged over. Without an extreme-grade weapon, "We're not afraid of you." They attacked frantically. In an instant, several patriarchs were engaged in a fierce battle. Monstrous flames swept over as one of the Golden Crow Race patriarchs charged over. The Fantasy World patriarch's eyes flashed with a terrifying light, forming a monstrous illusion that blocked the Golden Crow Race patriarch. The battle erupted again. The 10,000 Dragon Court did not send out a patriarch, but Lin Xian and the Divine Union sent out another patriarch. They were evenly matched. Everyone looked up at the sky, watching the intense battle above the 9 heavens. Before long, 2 patriarchs' bodies split apart and turned into blood mist. Their blood pierced through heaven and earth. Soon, the 2 of them recovered and started fighting again. Everyone was terrified. These patriarchs were really angry. The Savage Wilderness Patriarch was exceptionally terrifying. He was like a barbarian god that had been resurrected, sweeping in all directions. The Dragon Race Patriarch's blood was boiling. The Dragon Race Patriarch roared, his body transforming into a divine dragon that swept across heaven and earth. The battle between the 2 of them was terrifying. The other powerhouses also roared. They realized that it was very difficult for them to kill Lin Xian. Damn it, they had not expected that an ant in their eyes could gather so many powerhouses. The Purple Mansion sect wanted to attack, but they were stopped by the Heavenly Court. "Quick, everyone attack and kill that brat together." Angry shouts rang out, and the other great sages and great sages all attacked, quickly rushing over. Lin Xian sneered. With just you? Let me show you what absolute suppression is. Without the threat of the patriarchs, Lin Xian was not afraid at all. He charged over. Die! A saint from the dragon's sea roared. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled around him, and countless seas danced wildly. They charged towards Lin Xian. This was a peerless killing move, causing the scalps of the surrounding people to go numb. However, Lin Xian only snorted coldly. He punched out with an indomitable will and split open the ocean between heaven and earth. Boom! That saint's chi and blood tumbled as he was sent flying. His body had been penetrated. Just you? You want to compete with me? The difference is too great. Lin Xian pointed again. The demonic Shensi smashed his opponent's head right away. The people around were stunned. Oh my God! Was this Lin Wuti? An initial stage great sage actually killed a sage so easily. This method was too terrifying. Was he already this terrifying? All the people watching the battle on the buried Emperor Star were incomparably shocked. There weren't many young Supremes who could compete with him. Kill him. He had to kill him. He was from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Seeing the scene, they roared crazily. They absolutely couldn't allow him to continue growing. Otherwise, they would really be in danger. Kill. The saints from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, the Purple Mansion, and the Golden Crow race all charged out. The three great saints came together. Kid Lin, today is the day you die. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. He took out the Hellfire Dragon Sword and the Great Destruction Spear and swept them in all directions. He used the Great Dragon Sword Soul to the extreme. With a slash, it swept across thousands of miles. A saint was sent flying by the attack. On the other side, the Great Destruction Spear carried a destructive aura and sent another saint flying. Between heaven and earth, the yin and yang energies gathered and turned into a yin-yang diagram that swept out in all directions. Lin Xian's attacks were bold and powerful to the extreme. Attack. Behind him, Morong Qingcheng, the Crimson Dragon, the Monkey, and Yen Ryu all attacked. The Longevity Hall, the Dao Sex Elders, and all the allies of the Divine Union attacked together. The battle erupted once again, and the entire world was completely shattered. Boom! The Dao Sex Elders roared and activated the array. Countless rays of light lit up, and a shocking killing array soared into the sky. Many strong enemies were killed. At the same time, a few sacred weapons flew out and swept across all directions. In an instant, the people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were heavily injured. Damn it! The ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared crazily, but their extreme weapons were restrained. Meanwhile, they were fighting with the other party's ancestors. It was very difficult to kill the other party in a short period of time. Besides Lin Xian, there was still Yen Ryu, the Monkey, and Morong Qingcheng. These three were also emperor-level existences. Once they attacked with their full strength, it was really too terrifying. Damn it, they had to use their trump cards. They couldn't hold back anymore. The people from the Purple Mansion roared. In the next moment, they formed a spatial gate, and a figure walked out. The moment this figure appeared, it carried a desolate aura. Everything had withered and withered. It was as if death and hell had descended. Everyone was terrified. They looked up at the sky and saw a figure walk out of the spatial gate. It was a figure surrounded by a desolate aura. The Lord of the Great Desolation. The person who had been sleeping for tens of thousands of years had awakened once again. The heavenly court had attacked the Purple Mansion crazily. Now, the people from the Purple Mansion had summoned such a terrifying figure to kill Lin Xian. This wasn't just a peak great sage. More importantly, the other party was an ancient existence. The moment the Lord of the Great Desolation appeared, he formed the Great Desolation Hand. The palm covered the sky, and the desolate aura made everyone's hair stand on end. At this moment, the people from the divine union were shocked. Many elders vomited blood, and their faces turned pale. Damn it, he's destroying our lives. These people were terrified. Do you think you're the only ones with trump cards? The people from the heavenly court roared. Black Mountain snorted coldly and formed a seal with his palm. The people from the heavenly court also formed a spatial gate. An endless divine light danced inside. In the next moment, a golden lion charged out. He roared at the sky and shattered the sky. Instantly, the sky was filled with golden light, blocking the desolate aura. The surrounding people were shocked. On the buried emperor's star, the experts watching the battle were also shocked. What was that? Some of the powerful elders were alarmed. Could it be the legendary Golden Lion King? The heavenly court indeed had some means. The Golden Lion was just an illusion, but it was incomparably terrifying. It carried a vast aura and blocked the desolate hand. The two of them fought, and it was hard to determine the victor. The Purple Mansion is only SOSO. It's impossible for you to kill Lin Xian today. Black Mountain stood with his hands behind his back and shouted coldly. Boom. However, at this moment, a withered claw appeared and slapped the Golden Lion. The Golden Lion was sent flying, and the golden light in the sky was shattered. Everyone was shaken. Did another terrifying expert appear? Could it be an even more ancient existence? Chapter 52:12. Who was it? The people from the divine union were also shocked. In the next moment, they saw the 10,000 Dragon Court's void gate open. A skeleton-like figure appeared. This person stretched out a palm and covered the rest of his body with divine crystals. It was a sleeping fossil, the kind that didn't have much life left. They didn't expect the 10,000 Dragon Court to summon such a figure. They were going to go all out. Great. They were dead meat. The people from the Golden Crow race and the Blue race all revealed sinister smiles. Who could fight against such an old ancestor? Boom. In the depths of the Tao, two violent forces flew out and condensed in the sky. There were two figures. One was a middle-aged man, and the other was a young man. They were the other two old ancestors of the Tao. They had sensed a shocking aura, so they had come. When they saw the figure inside the divine crystals, their faces turned solemn. This person was too terrifying. It seemed that they would need a few old ancestors to join forces to resist him. Boom. In front of them, the old ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Court waved his claws and attacked again. Attack. The two new old ancestors of the Tao sect roared and attacked together. They were forced back and blocked the other party's divine ability. The others were also shocked. The two old ancestors had been forced back. This person was too terrifying. Old ancestor Huanshe snorted coldly. It didn't matter. Although he was powerful, he didn't have much life left and couldn't fully recover. The people from the divine union also calmed down. They could also see that the other party had only stretched out a palm. It seemed like he couldn't use his full strength. This was a good opportunity for them. Was that so? The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court snorted coldly. In the next moment, another figure walked out of the void gate. It was also the figure of the person sealed by the divine crystals. This was also an ancient living fossil. Countless people were stunned. Another one had appeared. In the Tao, the people on the Tao's side also had ugly expressions. Everyone on the buried Emperor Star was terrified. Was this the foundation of the Emperor race? It was too powerful. Some of the ancient families felt their scalps go numb. They felt that without their Emperor weapons, they were about the same as the Emperor race. However, it seemed like that wasn't the case. Even the 5-peak great sages couldn't fight against the two living fossils that had come out. Furthermore, it had been sealed. If the two living fossils fully recovered, would the ancient families be able to resist them? It was hard for them to imagine. Damn it, monkey, and the others gritted their teeth. Yen Ryu's expression was gloomy and cold. She said that the Tao protector should activate it. An old man appeared beside her. After hearing what she said, he was also shocked. Her Highness, are we really going to use it? Yen Ryu nodded. I understand. The Tao protector formed a seal with his palm. In the next moment, a green lotus appeared on the Tao protector's body and spun continuously. There was a terrifying aura on it. Countless people were terrified. A Tao protector was incredible. He should also be an ancient figure. Ordinary seals. Was he going to release the seal now? Sure enough, the aura emitted by the other party was no weaker than that of the living fossils from before. This made the expressions of the people from the Divine Union relax. He still had a chance to fight. Boom. Lin Xian also formed hand seals. He released a trace of the Hellfire Dragon's aura. The Hellfire Dragon's figure appeared. The terrifying flames swept across the land, causing countless people to panic. Did Lin Xian have such a person by his side? The Heavenly Court and the Purple Mansion sent out 2 more experts each, and they faced each other. Damn it, the advantage they had was gone again. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court were shocked. They had even brought out the living fossils. How could they not suppress the other party? The people on the Hidden Emperor's Star, like Zhang Tianya and the other desolate ancient families, were all terrified. However, they did not expect Lin Xian to have a foundation that was not weaker than the Darch families. It was too shocking. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court had cold expressions. They gritted their teeth. Everyone's forehead split open, and a drop of blood flew out. A blood-colored altar was formed in the air. Then, they respectfully knelt down on one knee. Old ancestor, please show yourself. Countless people were terrified. The 10,000 Dragon Court's old ancestor knelt down and called out to the other party. Just how terrifying was this person? Everyone's hair stood on end. The Hellfire Dragon's eyelids were also twitching. Not good, kid, be careful. If you can't do it, quickly use the heaven-swallowing jar to escape. What did you discover? Lin Xian was shocked. What kind of person could make the Hellfire Dragon so terrified? On the other side, the people from the Black Sea's dragon race were also terrified. The Crimson Dragon kept retreating, its blood boiling. At this moment, everyone felt a sense of suppression. A figure appeared on the blood-colored altar. It was a figure that was sitting cross-legged. This figure was extremely strange. Only the dragon head was intact. However, its body had already turned into white bones, and a mysterious light was emitting from it. This dragon head was biting on a token. Its eyes were tightly shut, as if it was already dead. Endless dragon blood gathered on its body, causing the dragon head to emit a terrifying light. The token in its hand became blood-colored and glowed. In the next moment, the dragon head's eyes shook and opened slightly. An extremely terrifying and oppressive aura swept out in all directions. At this moment, the Black Sea's dragon race, the Thunder Dragon, the Cloud Dragon, and all the other dragon race were terrified. They could not help but want to kneel down. The Crimson Dragon felt as if it was struck by lightning. The Hellfire Dragon also said, "Kid, be careful. Don't provoke him." After saying that, his figure became dimmer and dimmer. However, he used Hellfire to form an armor to protect Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt a shocking aura. What could scare the Hellfire Dragon away? It was too unbelievable. Soon, when he sensed this aura, his chi and blood began to churn. His bloodline was about to split open. The great dragon sword soul in his body let out a crazy roar. Lin Xian's sword, chi soared to the sky to resist this power. The others also felt the suppression from their bloodline and soul. The Tao sect's old ancestor and Yen Ryu's Tao protector also frowned. This was probably an extremely shocking figure. The entire buried Emperor Star was in an uproar. They could feel this power sweeping out in all directions. Everyone could feel it. The weaker ones directly knelt on the ground. The stronger elders were also trembling in fear. Who was this person? The remote antiquity family and the peerless great sect were in despair. The emperor race's pupils constricted. The phoenix race's people exclaimed, "No way! How did he come out?" The Kirin race was even more shocked. Impossible! How could he still be alive? He should be dead already. The Kunpeng race was terrified. Lin Wudi was definitely dead. The Yi family and the Gu family were also shocked. They thought of an extremely ancient figure, but he shouldn't have appeared again. Who was he? The Crimson Dragon roared crazily. The Black Sea's dragon race's people were also terrified. The Desolation sect's old ancestor Huan Shi, and the experts from the other families were no longer fighting. They all retreated. The Thousand Dragon Court's people also retreated. The two sides confronted each other again. However, the atmosphere was even more terrifying than before. Everyone was guessing the identity of this white-bone dragon head character. Chapter 52:13. Between heaven and earth, the atmosphere was extremely quiet. Everyone on the buried Emperor Star was paying attention. Over at the 10,000 Dragons Imperial Court, the 5 old ancestors knelt on one knee with incomparably respectful expressions. Even the 4 living fossils bowed, in respect. This shocked everyone. What level were these old ancestors and living fossils at? But they were so respectful. Who was this person in front of them? Lord Dragon Tomb, we deserve to die. We failed to protect the prince. Please punish us, Lord Dragon Tomb. Lord Dragon Tomb, please kill the enemy. These old ancestors knelt on the ground and cried bitterly. Lord Dragon Tomb. Everyone was shocked. This name was so unfamiliar. Some elders were at a loss. However, the pupils of the old ancestors of the Black Sea Dragon race, Dragon Sea Dragon race, and other dragon races shrank. They recalled a legend. The Yi family, Gu family, Phoenix race, and other emperor races exclaimed, "It was indeed him." Who was this old ancestor? The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth and asked, who was this person in the dragon race? He really couldn't imagine whose aura was so powerful. Patriarch Xianhai gritted his teeth and said, Lord Dragon Tomb was the legendary guardian of the Dragon Emperor's tomb. When these words came out, countless people were shocked. Guardian of the Dragon Emperor's tomb? Heavens! How much trust did the Dragon Emperor have to have in order to do this? The other party's strength was definitely terrifying to the extreme. Moreover, the Dragon King's tomb definitely had the Dragon Emperor's great Tao. The other party had been comprehending it all this time. His strength was definitely shocking. On the other side, the old ancestor of the Dragon Sea Dragon race also laughed crazily. That's right, Lord Dragon Tomb was the legendary guardian of the tomb. We have hope. Lin Xian, you're dead meat. They were really too shocked. An old ancestor snorted coldly. You bunch of ants, just wait to die. Lord Dragon Tomb was the guardian of the Dragon Emperor's tomb. Back then, he had almost broken through and become a quasi-emperor. Even if he failed, he wasn't someone a peak great sage could compare to. He could sweep away all of you with just one hand. A cold voice sounded, causing the faces of the people on the path to become ugly. The other party had broken through to the quasi-emperor realm. The young disciples were at a loss. Didn't he fail? What was there to be proud of? However, those old ancestors, especially those peak great sage experts, felt their scalps go numb. They had reached this realm and naturally understood how terrifying it was. Although they stood at the peak of the great sage realm, it was difficult for them to take a step forward in the past few thousand years. One more step, and he would be a quasi-emperor. However, it was like 100,000 mountains that made them kneel there for the rest of their lives, unable to move forward. If someone could break through this natural chasm and break through to the quasi-emperor realm, even if they failed, they would still far surpass other peak great saints. This was why they were so terrified when they heard it. This dragon tomb was much more powerful than them. It was even more terrifying than the sealed living fossils. It was over. Some people were in despair. Daozong also shook his head. If such a person appeared, they would not be able to resist at all. They began to transmit messages to Lin Xian, Morong Qingsheng, and the others. Don't fight this battle. We've already lost. Hurry up and summon your imperial weapons. Let's defend. With this dragon tomb around, no one would be able to contend against the nest of 10,000 dragons. The young geniuses were shocked when they heard the old ancestors' words. Were they defeated? The other party had just appeared and hadn't even made a move yet, but they had already admitted defeat. Especially when these patriarchs admitted defeat personally. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the person in front of them was. Lin Xian frowned. There was actually such a person in the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Unbelievable. Were they really going to give up? For this battle, he had gathered countless families and sects and gathered a huge amount of resources. That was why he was able to revive so many imperial weapons. He had already fought to this extent. He was unwilling to give up. In front, Lord Dragon Tomb seemed to be still asleep. However, when he heard the cries and shouts of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's patriarchs, he slowly opened his eyes. In the next moment, a blood-colored light exploded in his eyes. What did you say? The Dragon Prince is dead? This voice was abnormally low, but when it spread out, it was like 10,000 bolts of thunder. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's patriarchs who were kneeling on the ground spat out blood, as if they were struck by lightning. Their bodies shattered. However, they didn't dare to resist at all. Lord Dragon Tomb, please calm down. We deserve to die. The light in Dragon Tomb's eyes became more and more terrifying. The entire world shook. At this moment, everyone in the Hidden Earth's core felt a sense of fear. Why did it feel like an extreme weapon had been revived, as expected from the person who protected the Dragon Emperor tomb? No wonder the Taoist sect patriarchs had to admit defeat. His aura alone was enough to sweep everything and injure so many patriarchs. If he wanted to attack, wouldn't he be able to easily wipe out these patriarchs? This was an extremely terrifying person. If the emperor didn't appear, he would probably be the strongest person in the world. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty actually had such a person. Lin Xian was dead. Dragon Tomb's body gave out cracking sounds, and his white bones were shaking. He was furious. Back then, I personally handed the Dragon Prince to you. Do you remember the oath you made? You swore to protect the prince, but now, you actually told me that the Dragon Prince is dead. He stood up like a god was about to descend. The sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. Cracks appeared on the bodies of the patriarchs. They kept on kowtowing. The 4 living fossils' faces were ashen white as they retreated. They were even more in awe. Lord Dragon Tomb, the situation is indeed out of our expectations. It is that kid. One of the living fossils pointed at Lin Xian and said with gritted teeth. He gathered 4 emperor weapons and attacked the Dragon Prince. We really didn't expect it. It's you. When Dragon Tomb heard about the 4 emperor weapons, he was also stunned. No wonder the prince died. No matter how strong he was, if he was targeted by the 4 emperor weapons, he would definitely die. His gaze swept across the void and stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian instantly turned into a black hole. Retreat. Morong Qingsheng and the others were terrified and quickly retreated. Lin Xian's body shook and retreated into the distance. However, in the next moment, his gaze swept over, and he spat out blood, as if he was struck by lightning. Cracks appeared on his powerful body, but at this moment, the dragon roared crazily and swept out. The Hellfire Dragon also secretly shot out flames to block the attack. In the end, Lin Xian was injured, but his body didn't split open. It was too shocking. Even the patriarchs were injured, but Lin Wudi could block it. No wonder he could survive the attack of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Countless people were shocked. Dragon Tomb patriarchs' eyes also burst out with light. You can actually block my gaze. With the cultivation of an early-stage great saint, no wonder you dare to kill the prince. Dragon Tomb Patriarch was also shocked. He had lived for many years and seen many geniuses. It was rare to see someone like Lin Xian in his life. If nothing unexpected happened, the other party would very likely become a great emperor. He definitely wouldn't allow such a person to live. Today, I will personally send you on your way and use your blood to pay tribute to the dragon soul of the prince. Chapter 52:14. He took a step forward, shattering heaven and earth. The entire holy abyss ancient city shook violently, as if it couldn't withstand his kick at all. Lin Xian retreated, vomiting blood, and his face turned pale. Give me strength. With a furious roar, the power in the sword world circulated crazily. The great dragon sword soul transformed into a peerless sword shadow that enveloped him to block this aura. Sensing this aura, Long Mu was even more shocked. Great dragon sword soul, you actually have this thing, and this belongs to our 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. You don't deserve to have it. Kill the other party. Firstly, take revenge for the Dragon Prince and destroy a strong enemy. Secondly, this was the great dragon sword soul. There was even a trace of excitement in his eyes. If he could obtain this thing, he might have a chance to advance further. A white-boned dragon claw stretched forward, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. At this moment, everyone felt fear. Their bodies couldn't move at all. Attack, the savage wilderness ancestor, and the others roared. The 6 ancestors attacked together. They blocked in front of Lin Xian. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The 6 of them were sent flying, blood flowing from the corners of their mouths. What? Was he defeated? Even the 6 old ancestors couldn't stop this dragon tomb? It's over. This Lin Xian is dead for sure. Lin Xian's expression became even more unsightly. He waved the great dragon sword soul and struck out with a shocking sword strike, displaying terrifying power. However, he was still forced back. It was too strong. Unless he used endless resources to fully awaken the great dragon sword soul and strike out with a shocking strike. However, with so many extreme weapons, he wasn't confident in killing the other party. One had to know that this was such a powerful enemy. Even the 6 ancestors weren't his match. If the other party controlled the 10,000 dragon diagram, how terrifying would it be? Kid, I didn't expect you to have the resources to activate it. But so what? Long Mu snorted coldly and formed a seal. The 10,000 dragon diagram shook violently and flew towards him. Then it kept changing in front of him. An even more terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Not good. The other party is really going to use the 10,000 dragon diagram. Countless people were terrified. In the other party's hands, the power of the extreme weapons would be even more terrifying. Lin Xian also recalled his heaven-devouring jar to defend himself. Countless vortexes appeared around him. Suppress him. The 10,000 dragons picture was extremely powerful, and it gradually suppressed the heaven-devouring jar. It couldn't be helped. The dragon's tomb was simply too powerful. Seeing this, Long Mu shook his head. Ants are useless. Even if I give you an extreme weapon, you still won't be my match. Go to hell. With a wave of his hand, a huge dragon flew towards Lin Xian. The power contained within was simply too terrifying. It's over. Everyone knew that Lin Xian would die without a doubt. The heaven-swallowing jar could not be used, and the great dragon sword soul was suppressed. What other tricks did the other party have? This kid was too arrogant. The Sun Palace did not kill him, so he should hide. He would come out after he made another breakthrough. Who would have thought that the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would have something like the Dragon Tomb? In an era where the great emperors did not appear, the other party was the strongest. The spectators sighed, while those from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty laughed. This time, the opponent was definitely going to die. On the other hand, the Divine Union was in despair. No. However, facing an expert like the Dragon Tomb, they could not do anything. They had no power to fight back at all. Even the patriarchs were in despair. Lin Xian's expression was also extremely cold. He was indeed suppressed. However, there was nothing he could do. The other party had once attacked the Boundary Emperor. Such a person was simply too strong. However, he still had a trump card. At most, he would enter the sword world and be injured. However, he would definitely be able to escape with his life. Gritting his teeth, Lin Xian was ready to take action. However, at that moment, a vortex appeared in front of him. It directly swallowed the huge dragon. What was going on? How could the other party still use the heaven-swallowing jar? The surrounding people were all stunned. The Gu family also frowned. It was impossible. The heaven-swallowing jar was being suppressed by the 10,000 Dragons portrait. How could this kid counterattack? Lin Xian was even more stunned because this vortex was not created by him. Someone had made a move. Who was it? He looked around. He only knew two people who possessed a devouring vortex. Could it be? The Dragon Tomb's expression was also gloomy. He could sense that it was not the aura of the heaven-swallowing jar. He snorted coldly. Who would dare to make a move secretly? Get out here. If he dares to go against me, I will send him to hell. A cold voice sounded, causing everyone's scalps to go numb. Even the 6 old ancestors could not defeat the other party. Who would dare to make a move? Moreover, it was to help Lin Xian. Could it be that there was an extremely terrifying person on Lin Xian's side? In the Divine Union, these people were all stunned. They did not know such a person at all. However, at that moment, a vortex appeared in the sky. Immediately after, a figure appeared in the vortex. That person was half leaning against the vortex. He was dressed in a Taoist robe, and his hair was like a waterfall. He was drunk and holding a wine gourd in his hand, drinking nonstop. The appearance of such a person stunned everyone. Who was this person? They did not know. Was he the one who made a move secretly? Countless people were stunned. Some old ancestors were shocked. They could not sense the other party's aura, but the other party gave them an extremely dangerous feeling. It was as if the other party was covered in fog and could not be seen clearly. The man who appeared in the vortex had a calm expression, as if he did not care about his surroundings at all. He was still shaking the wine gourd and smiling faintly. What can you do if I make a move on you? You are courting death. Long Mu roared and stretched out his dragon claws. A terrifying power could destroy heaven and earth. Everyone knew that it was this attack that had attacked previously. It had forced the 6 old ancestors to retreat. One could only imagine how terrifying it was. Could this drinking man block it? It was over. This person was courting death. Yes, no matter how strong he was just an old ancestor. He probably did not know Long Mu's strength at all. He seemed to be carefree and calm like an immortal, but he was probably stupid. Many people shook their heads. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court and the Z Mansion sneered. In the face of such an attack, the immortal-like man did not care at all. He waved his sleeves, and a vortex flew out, swallowing the dragon bone palm directly. He blocked it. Heavens, it was so easy and casual. Countless people were stunned. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court were stunned. The people from the Taoist sect were also in disbelief. This person was too strong. What kind of person was Long Mu? He was an existence even more terrifying than the old ancestors. But now, he was being suppressed by someone else. Long Mu's pupils constricted. He suddenly retracted his palm and shouted coldly, "Who are you?" He rode the wind on his sword and roamed the world, drinking wine and swallowing the sun and moon. "I am the wine sword celestial." His voice was vast and descended from the 9 heavens, shocking countless people. Wine sword celestial. Was that his title? But why had they not heard of it before? Even the patriarchs were at a loss. However, Long Mu's pupils constricted, and he roared crazily. Impossible! How could it be him? The old ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Court walked over and said, "Who are you? How dare you interfere in the matters of the 10,000 Dragon Court? Do you believe that we will destroy your soul?" As they spoke, they used the 10,000 dragon diagram and released a terrifying aura. Chapter 52:15. With just you guys? Wine Sword Immortal's eyes were filled with disdain. If it was your dragon emperor who revived, it might be possible. But with just you ants, it's simply laughable. The surrounding people went crazy. Wine Sword Immortal actually said that the dragon race's ancestors were ants. That was an existence that stood at the peak of the great sage realm. How terrifying was that? You're courting death. The 3 ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were enraged, and they quickly charged over. Everyone became nervous. Did Wine Sword Immortal really have the strength? Wine Sword Immortal looked at this scene and stood up. The smile on his face also disappeared. 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? You think that you can be fearless just because you have an extreme weapon? Today, I'll let you see my strength. As he spoke, he waved his sleeve and an endless vortex flew out, sweeping through heaven and earth. A terrifying aura swept out in all directions. The 10,000 dragon picture shook violently. The pupils of the 3 ancestors constricted. Not good. They quickly retreated and were torn apart by this power. Their bodies turned into a bloody mist. They were swallowed by the black vortex and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Dead. The other ancestors were stunned. They could no longer sense the aura of the dragon race's ancestors. Their faces instantly turned pale. The families of the buried Emperor Star were terrified. Even the people of the Emperor race were stunned. Who was this person? With a wave of his sleeve, the 3 ancestors were turned into ashes. His strength was too shocking. Could it be that he was an existence like Dragon Tomb? The dragon race's experts were so frightened that their scalps turned numb. The other living fossils of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty walked over and said, "Lord Dragon Tomb, please kill him." "Yes, Lord Dragon Tomb. Let's fully awaken the extreme weapon and destroy his soul." However, Dragon Tomb didn't move. It was as if he didn't hear it. He stared ahead and said with gritted teeth, "Quasi-Emperor." This was the power of a quasi-emperor. The surrounding people were stunned when they heard this. Quasi-Emperor. They sucked in a breath of cold air and looked ahead in disbelief. Wine Sword Immortal was a quasi-emperor? Heavens, how was this possible? Although a quasi-emperor wasn't a true emperor, it was an existence that surpassed the saint realm. It was someone who had stepped into the emperor realm. Such a person could sweep through the world. How terrifying was his strength? It wasn't something that saints could resist. The Dragon Tomb was incredibly terrifying. Back then, it failed to break through to quasi-emperor. If a failed character was already so terrifying, how terrifying would a true quasi-emperor be? No one dared to imagine. This was the true strongest expert. At this moment, the world fell silent. The 10,000 Dragons Dynasty was stunned. The entire buried Emperor Star was shocked. There was actually still a living quasi-emperor in this world. This was beyond their expectations. Such a character was already shockingly heaven-defying. Even if they resurrected all of their extreme weapons, they still wouldn't be able to kill him. The 10,000 Dragon Court's living fossil elders were terrified, and the experts were so scared that they knelt on the ground. Long Mu quickly retracted the 10,000 dragons diagram and covered their surroundings. Unexpectedly, there were still quasi-emperors in the world. However, since you are a high and mighty quasi-emperor, shouldn't you be trying to break through to the supreme great emperor realm? Why should he meddle in the affairs of the mortal world? Senior, please stop. If Senior doesn't care about this matter, my 10,000 Dragon Dynasty is willing to offer the Dragon Emperor ancient scripture for Senior to take a look. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked again. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was going all out. The ancient Dragon Emperor scripture was the inheritance of a great emperor. Only the Dragon Prince of the Dragon race could view it. No one else had the chance. However, the 10,000 Dragon Court had actually offered such an offer. From this, it could be seen how terrifying a quasi-emperor's strength was. The people of the Tao sect and Divine Union became nervous. No one could refuse such an offer, especially the quasi-emperors. They were only half a realm away from the great emperor realm. If they could obtain the great emperor ancient scripture, perhaps the other party could really become a great emperor. Would the other party still stand on Lin Xian's side? In the sky, the wine sword immortal narrowed his eyes. The Dragon Emperor ancient scripture was really an offer that was hard to refuse. He looked down at Lin Xian and smiled. Little fellow, what do you think? Lin Xian's eyes turned red. Lord Wine, is it really you? That's great. I didn't expect to be able to see you again. Men don't cry easily, but Lin Xian was really too excited. Lord Wine was his first master and had even helped him open his meridians and start his martial path. Without Lord Wine, he would still be a cripple. Back then, Lord Wine had left, saying that they would meet again someday. Lin Xian had cultivated from a small cultivator to an invincible great sage. However, there was still no news of Lord Wine. He had even fallen into despair. However, at his most dangerous moment, Lord Wine had come to save him. Lin Xian took a deep breath and laughed heartily. Lord Zhou, if you want to see the Dragon Emperor ancient scripture, I'll let you see it after I take down the 10,000 Dragon Court. The surrounding people were stunned. The other party knew him and seemed to be very familiar with him. The people of the Tao heaved a sigh of relief. No wonder he would help Lin Xian. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court had ugly expressions. How could this be? How could the other party know a quasi-emperor? The wine sword immortal looked at the 10,000 Dragon Court and smiled. You heard it. If I want to see the Dragon Emperor ancient scripture, I'll just snatch it. The pupils of the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court shrank. They really had no way to deal with such a quasi-emperor. Long Mu gritted his teeth. Senior, although you are a quasi-emperor, my 10,000 Dragon Court is an emperor race. Although we can't kill you, we can protect ourselves. Senior, do you really want to fight with my 10,000 Dragon Court until both sides suffer? On the buried Emperor Star, the other emperor races also fell silent. Indeed, they couldn't kill the other party. However, if they defended the mountain gate and used extreme weapons to defend, the other party wouldn't be able to kill his way in. Of course, if the other party really had an extraordinary relationship with Lin Xian, they could use a few extreme weapons. None of the emperor races could withstand it. Both sides suffer? The 10,000 Dragon Court thought too highly of themselves. Lord Wine's eyes shone with a cold light. Senior, do you really want to bully the weak? Long Mu roared as the power in his body began to gather. However, Lord Wine was still not afraid. Bully the weak? With a wave of his hand, he grabbed a living fossil of the dragon race and brought it to his side. The living fossil crazily attacked, but all of its offensive divine abilities were swallowed by the vortex. It couldn't injure Lord Wine at all. She was terrified and in despair. In front of the other party, she was just an ant. Lord Wine slapped the other party into a bloody mist and then said coldly, "Is this considered bullying the weak?" Then let me ask you, when so many of your ancestors attacked Lin Xian, is this considered bullying the weak? Since you can do it, why can't I do it? As he spoke, a living fossil of the dragon race was destroyed. Everyone's scalps went numb. The people of the dragon race also fell into despair. They knew that this quasi-emperor was standing up for Lin Xian. "Why aren't you saying anything?" Lord Wine waved his hand and grabbed another ancestor of the Golden Crow race. Then, with a flick of his finger, the other party's bones shattered, and he was nailed to death in the void. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.